Well, I'm always on time by being fashionably late because that's what I do. Of course, my name is Six. This is The Fix Is In. And of course, we've got good old Brad here as well. Mate, how you going?
Good, mate. Just got back from far north Queensland and, yeah, missing it. If only there was a industry up there that was sustainable, I'd fucking move there in a heartbeat.
I mean, you go up there and dig some rocks out of the ground. That's usually how most people do it up there.
Yeah, the miners, yeah. Happy birthday, by the way, you bloody degenerate.
Thank you much, Lee. I
40
finally
years old.
Yep, finally hit the big 4-0.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you hit 40? What's the milestone there? When you hit 30, you start smoking meat and you get into whiskey and craft brews. What do you do when you're 40? I guess you start playing golf? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. You know, doing golf or doing the, getting into like trains or something, or
Trains?
doing up vintage cars.
Well, you are autistic, so
Just a little bit
vintage
of
cars, that's too expensive. It's
nowadays,
like
yeah.
a mugs game at the best of times.
Well, it's kind of
Old
weird because a lot of the
motorcycles,
old cars and that have now finally started to taper off, as all the old guys who have done them up now were like trying to sell them, and they're all trying
Yeah.
to sell them now, and no one's
the market's
buying.
flooded.
Yeah, no one's buying like 1970s like hot rods and muscle cars anymore. You know, like a.
Up at the Gold Coast, man, there's like, oh man, the place we were staying was like boomer paradise, right? Rich boomers everywhere. It was Palm Cove, it was called.
Yeah.
And man, Maseratis, bloody Aston Martins, you name it, and all these old bastards reliving their youth. But then you go out in the sticks a bit, and Queensland has a massive car culture. I'm not sure why, because they fucking rust. But Corvettes everywhere. Everyone loves Corvettes up there. The old 70s.
Yeah, right.
70s and 80s Corvettes, because to get a late 60s or a 60s one at all, you're
Yeah.
talking big dollars, and to restore them. But you can get a 70s one for fuck all. You can get it for like 20 grand.
So like C5, C6 type thing.
There was a post someone shared. I don't know if it was for real, but it was pretty funny. It showed it because Corvettes, the body's fiberglass, right?
Yeah.
Certain models anyway. And someone had sanded it all the way back to the fiberglass, and they posted, "Man, I sanded it all the way back to the filler, and no matter how much I keep sanding it, I can't get to the metal." And everyone's like, "Keep going, buddy, keep going. It's down there."
Brilliant. I love that.
Good luck, fella.
Yeah. Well, what's wild is like the one thing we could have had like a car industry that still kept going on because we designed like the underpinnings of a bunch of GM's like good quality
Yeah.
stuff, like the Camaro that everyone loved, and like I look at that and I go, damn, that's a pretty sexy car. That was the underpinnings of
Yeah,
the same setup as the Commodore.
Yeah, it's just the rest of it that was the problem.
Nah, they weren't too bad. It's not like the like all of the
They
the-
handle
the-
like boats.
I mean, not
They
so
were
much.
just-
Not so much those. They're like, big, massive V8, power at the rear wheels. You go in a straight
Yeah.
line. Corners are for sissies.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it comes down to, man. We went up to the Daintree on, was it like Wednesday, and we hired an EV, and it was just a Toyota Corolla, and well, it was a hybrid.
Yeah.
It was the first hybrid I've ever driven, and man, that thing had some balls, and it
Yeah.
handled like a little motherfucker. It was like a little go kart, just stuck to the track.
We've
And
reached a
if you
point.
laid the boot into it,
We've reached a point now where like it's the same as how we were saying the other week with gear now that you can buy like a cheap guitar and amp, but it sounds phenomenal. It plays great.
Yeah.
The same goes with cars now. You don't have to spend like
it is.
200 grand on a car or like $100,000 to get something that's great. You can like throw 30 to 50k into something and it's going to be like a little pocket rocket that handles like it's on rails that'll still do 0 to 100 in like 4 seconds.
Man, it was so fast because the thing is with electric motors, they got maximum torque at 0 revs. So you got the little motor in there, and small motors are more efficient because motors are most efficient at like flat out, like full throttle, right?
Yeah.
So if you put a small motor in there, little 4-cylinder, and then you've got the low end torque added by the like the electric motor that gives you that boot in the ass when you floor it, and then the 4-cylinder motor, the internal combustion that just gives you that speed range and the high speed. But yeah, the handling was so nice. And there's this, anyone who lives up there knows, we went out to see the cathedral fig, which is a 500-year-old fig tree. Amazing. It looks like an ant. Looks like it's straight out of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, right.
And there's a 20-kilometre stretch of road reaching out to it that is just hairpin.
Nice.
So this was a hire car, so I put it in sports mode and gave it the berries, And
gave it the beans.
When we stopped at some roadworks, I had the window down. You could just smell the burning rubber. I was like, got to get your dollars worth out of that rental, brother.
Hells yeah.
So much fun.
As that classic Top Gear skit was, the fastest car in the world is a rental car.
Yeah, every time, yeah. Drive it like you rented it.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. Just as long as it comes back and it hasn't got like scratches on the outside.
That's right. Fine. Yeah. I parked it like off away from the other cars, and just so no one opened a door into it or some shit.
Dunk.
Yeah.
So Queensland. What was it like up there during the not insanely hot part of the year?
You know what? At the moment is kind of peak tourism season up there. Because I don't know if you guys have been north of Brisbane, but man, during summer, you're talking 32 degrees and 100% humidity every day. And as soon as you walk outside, the humidity hits you like a brick wall, and you're just sweating like a fucking sweating like a pig. Pigs don't sweat. Why do people say that? Anyway, moving on. So yeah, winter, people go up there to escape the winter in Sydney and Melbourne, right? So they basically have a mid-year holiday up there. Because I was talking to the locals, and they were saying that up there in Christmas, it's pretty much dead. Like, you're talking locals only, but a lot of the locals leave to go to the other cities because a lot of them are retirees. So they'll go to the major cities to see their family over the Christmas break. So it's a bit of a ghost town over Christmas. So personally, I love the heat and humidity. So I'd love to go there over Christmas. And if it was a ghost town, less queues, less bullshit to deal with. Sounds like a pretty good deal either season. But yeah.
No.
Beautiful place. The wildlife is so different. Everything, because proper rainforest, right? And this is the dry season, and it was raining a lot. And it was just like, even if it wasn't raining, the rain just falls from the trees. It was just so much life. Everything's just, it's like being in fucking Avatar. It just makes the Blue Mountains and the flora and fauna there seem so much more arid. After being to an actual tropical rainforest. Beautiful place. Love to go back. Anyone gets a chance, go to the Daintree. It's beautiful.
I've been
back to topic.
I've been up to Queensland like once, very briefly, on my way out of the country. Like stop over and do your changeover in Cairns, and it was it was fucking awful.
Where were you going to change over in Cairns? They got like 3 planes a day up there.
A lot of the back in those days, it was flights out to Japan, of course.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it might still be the case. I don't know, but yeah, we went to the Cairns airport yesterday, and it was like 2:30, and everything was shut. Like all the bars were shut. They're like, we went to sit down at a bar because all the lights are on and everything, and people are milling around. Like it's still an airport with a fair bit of activity, and an old mate behind the bar was like, "Oh, sorry, we're closed." I'm like, "Really, bro?" Like it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. What? But yeah, there was only one more plane after us, and it wasn't worth keeping the staff there, so they shut early. Strange, but yeah.
Right on.
And just where you're sorting your stuff out, I didn't realise you can literally sneak beers onto a plane and just drink them and no one cares.
Yeah. Domestic you can, international a bit harder.
Yeah. Oh, not international, yeah.
I mean, well, international you can go through the duty free and pick them up there, and you can consume on the plane. Yeah. Which if you fly in something that isn't like a full service line, then you're gonna have to end up doing that way, or else you're paying like $6 for like a small cup of beer.
$6? I paid $17 for a fucking Havana Club.
Get
rum.
Fucked. Oh.
Man, I don't think I paid under $8 for a coffee up there, eh? The coffee in Queensland is fucking terrible. And there was one place that was good, Garage Cafe at Palm Cove, if anyone's there. Legends, hippies, they act like they're from, Katoomba or Byron Bay or something. They probably are. Funny fuckers.
Well, we're talking about an area which is like filled with old white people whose coffee orders consist of, I want a flat white with no foam, half strength, extra hot with 6 sugars.
Nescafe 43. Yeah, so the one place I found with good coffee, it was like, with an extra shot, it was like $8 for a fucking coffee, like cappuccino, man. I was like, oof. I was really looking forward to getting back to my machine. Tell you what, gave her a good service yesterday, and now she's purring.
Nice. Did you go through, do all the descaling, do all that kind of jazz, make sure it was all sorted?
Yeah, all that gear, yep. Gave her a good workout.
Does yours have a dual boiler setup, or is it a thermal block?
Yeah. It was like the cheapest one I could get with a dual boiler. It was the Expo Bar Office Lever.
Nice. Years ago, I had a Breville BES 800, which was like the king of the home machines, and just proved that Aussies could design some awesome shit.
Was Breville designed by Aussies?
Yeah, Aussie company.
Yeah, I knew it was an Aussie company, but I just assumed a lot of stuff was outsourced.
No, because I was working at the Good Guys at the time when it launched, and I was the product expert on it, and I got to go to the Breville head office and that, and we got to see like the designs and stuff and how it worked and look inside the machine. It was actually quite fascinating. But it's proof that we can design some great stuff, and we exported it. I mean, we invented the concept of the power board.
Really?
Yeah.
Cambrook, yeah, I remember Cambrook. Yeah, we used to have all sorts of appliances from Cambrook. Wow. Yeah,
Cambrook, they're still kicking along.
I had a schoolmate whose last name was Cranbrook, and I used to call her Cambrook.
I thought her name was Crandall.
Crandall, yeah.
Old Simpsons
we've got some guys flowing in now. ESP Junior, happy birthday, young man. You are a young man. You're still a spring chicken.
I don't know. I'm halfway through my working life now, and I'm looking at shit going, fuck, I got to retire in 25 years. How am I going to do this?
Not yet.
True.
You're a third of the way through it. Got to work till 120. You're going to be a head in the jar still, spitting out algorithms. Wakefield Amps, happy birthday, 6. Hope you have a great day. And TK Thomas, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Is that like that was like a North Cumbrian accent.
Happy birthday.
There we go. Or was that like Dutch? Maybe it was Dutch. Sort of German.
Something funny. Oh, you got one
Lou
of them
Woods,
funny
there you
accents.
Going, Chris. Chris says happy birthday. And Wakefield Amps retracted a message. Yes. Controversial.
Oh, yes.
All right. Did you want to do any current affairs stuff first, or just get straight into the main subject?
I mean, as far as current affairs go, it's the same shit at the moment. Nothing much has really kind of changed. I mean, the world is, well, I mean, as far as the gear world goes, it's still pretty much the same, and we're still dealing with the same top-down bullshit. I mean, obviously, Daddario had their little AI thing and all the rest of that, and that's already blown over, and people have already forgotten about that.
What has it been, 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks. People's attention spans are just way too short. Now they're on to the next thing. Yep. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the one thing that kind of has popped up, and me being me, I'm terminally online, so I've gone out there and hang around on Reddit, see all those kinds of things, and it kind of got me thinking, because half of the posts that are being fed up to me in the feed come from subs on like the Reverb sub on Reddit, which that is apparently a thing. Where's it down? Here we go. That one there. We're going to go to Reverb. Because one of the things that kind of popped up is the sort of grim reality of how everything now is a monopoly and a monopsony. Everything is just... I
had to Google monopsony, to be honest.
So for those who don't know, a monopsony is the opposite of a monopoly, right? So we all know what a monopoly is. A monopoly is where you have only one place you can buy stuff. So a prime example of a monopoly... Prime
being
example
one.
of a monopoly in the US would be Amazon. They pretty much have everything down lock and key. That is where you go. Or a Walmart or a CVS or something like that, where it's like, here is like the big thing where basically everyone goes, small companies can't really kind of compete with it, and then companies will buy them up. Facebook is another example of a monopoly. Things that, 70 years ago would have been destroyed by trust busting and all that jazz. A monopsony is where you have only one place with which you can sell to or sell through. So, for example, if you're a farmer, right, and you're a farmer...
The old dairy farmer thing.
Yep. You're a dairy farmer and there are no independent processors anymore. There's no independent grocery chains or anything like that. So you're forced to sell to one, maybe two companies. In Australia, that's somewhere like Woolworths and Coles, where if you're a dairy farmer, you've got all of this milk and you go to Woolworths and go, I want to sell it. And they go, awesome, we're going to pay you this much for it. And you go, well, I can't, I make no money out of that. And they go, well, sorry, you take it or leave it. And you kind of have to take it because you either go to them or Coles. We're odd because we have a duopsony, but they both operate as the same. So in effect, it's a monopsony. So you're now at the point where it's like, okay, I've got to sell to one of these places. I don't have any market with which I can sell my products easily to be able to get the most out of it. And that happens as a result of consolidation where everyone just buys up everything, or you get big companies that they no longer compete. They will go out there, and if someone comes up and it's a new industry or it's something that might challenge them, they will literally just pull the wallet out, drop it down, and buy that company to absorb it in to maintain that power, right?
Like they did with SWR.
How so?
Like they bought them and then ran them into the ground, essentially?
Well, kinda. More so like, for example, if we're talking about tech, right? Facebook. Facebook are doing their thing, they're growing, doing all that kind of jazz, and then suddenly some of their lunch was getting eaten by this little upstart company called Instagram. So... Mark Zuckerberg.
Remember when Insta was independent?
Yep.
Golden days.
Yep. And then Meta went, Facebook at that time went, hey, we're going to buy it. And everyone was like, you paid way too much for that company. Like, there's no way that it's worth that much. Well, they got the last laugh in the end because they controlled, at that point, the two biggest platforms. They bought up Meta. Google does this all the time. They see a company out there or a product and they go, awesome, we're going to buy that up. Amazon, same thing. They went out and they bought Ring. Suddenly there is like the big company. These companies don't innovate anymore. They will just buy up someone else, pump the money in, and then stop others from growing to take their place. And for years, one of the places that was kind of the case was eBay. eBay were absolutely massive. They're kind of smaller than what they used to be now, but they're still like one of the largest ones here in Australia. They're the platform most people will go to sell used stuff if they want to sell it online directly to consumers, right?
They just removed their sellers' fees.
Yeah, they did.
Individuals, anyway.
Yep, because most of their business, they know, comes from people like myself who have a shop on there and sell new products. And because for me to be able to sell like multiples of an item, I have to have a shop, I have to have a subscription, I have to pay fees, which are exorbitant. We're talking like 10 to 15% on an item just to sell it, which is ridiculous. But don't have much of a choice.
I haven't even looked at selling on eBay for like e-commerce platform anyway. Individual items, it's not a problem. But
no. It's an absolute pain in the ass, but when we're talking about like the monopsonies out there, the problem is with like a monopsony, right, is you've got your one specific thing. Go away. There we go. So go that there. So if we've got like a monopsony like Reverb, and this is what I was talking about before, where there's like a lot of people that have jumped online and they're all saying similar things, which is, have you seen this scam? Customer service won't do its job. Here we go, immediately, right? Customer service won't do its job. Hi mates, purchased an amp 10 days ago, still I never shipped it and denied my refund request twice. Reverb chat, keep communicating through bots and AI agents, non-responsive to emails. What else do I do? Okay, we scroll down a little further. What else we got? Here we go, problem accepting offers. Got banned in 3 days. UK shipping price changes. Items sold not working. There we go. Reverb's turned into a scam site with no support.
Yeah.
Seems possible to get in touch with Reverb support. People sell through Reverb.
I can't believe I get customers saying I'm hard to get in touch with. It's like, were you like born yesterday or what? Like no company has a support number these days.
Not anymore.
And I'm pretty easy to get in touch with, but I have a barrier to entry because otherwise you just get swamped with nuisance shit, either genuine people wanting free advice, which is fucking annoying, or yeah, just bot scam bullshit. So I do get why these companies don't have an easily accessible support, public support thing. But yeah, it's when you're dealing with actual account clients, like you've got to have support. It's ridiculous that they don't. But all you get these days, the best case is you get an AI bot, chatbot. But
well, that didn't used to be, that never used to be the case. For example, when I used to sell on Reverb, when they first came to Australia, like 10, 13 years ago, somewhere around that ballpark, they had a local guy here in Australia by the name of Nick. He reached out to me when I had an issue with a seller that was just being an absolute cockwomble. I had a PRS single cut nitro, single cut satin, right? These were the first guitars that PRS did that had a nitro finish on them, and they were shit. Like the finish on them, every single one of them would start bubbling and peeling off at some point. It was a very thin satin finish. Yep, every single one of them.
Oh wow.
It was a known fault, right? So really nice guitars otherwise. But I had this guitar, sold it to a guy in the US who asked like 1,000,001 questions. And about the finish and this and that, the other, and I just told him the case. I told him what's there, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I spoke to the guys at PRS, and they'll get it refinished for me. I'll pay him money for it, and blah blah blah." So he knew exactly what the situation was, knew everything about it. Sold it to him, shipped it to him, and he refused to accept delivery of the item. And he started like accusing me of lying and bringing up and being bullshit artist, blah 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 blah. And I was just like, mate, these are the situations. You knew what the case was. I showed you many photos, explained what it was. You even acknowledged that you were going to get it refinished, and it's also priced to be cheap because of the finish being the way it is. And so, thankfully, because Australia isn't beholden to the same bullshit as a lot of other places are, I was able to basically say, no, I'm not going to give you a refund. But, Nick from Reverb reached out to me and just said, how's things going, all the rest of that. Just wanting to see how your selling experience is and everything, told him what was going on, and he looked into it for me and confirmed things and said, yep, no, look, you've done everything right, nothing you need to worry about on that part. Nowadays, that is not the case, because Reverb went from being its own entity that was owned by Chicago Music Exchange, which was kind of cool. They had a flat 3.5% rate. They had like customer service. You could actually call them or email them. Someone would actually get in contact with you. Then they were sold to Etsy. That's when things started going to shit. And then eventually they were sold to everyone's favorite, boogeyman's, the Servco Pacific Group under Fender. Yep. And things were getting shit under Reverb before Fender's acquisition, but it has accelerated considerably since then. And that's where you see like these Reddit posts in the Reddit of people saying, look, I have sold something, there are more scams there, I can't get in contact with anyone, nothing's being done to protect anyone, the fees have gone up, and now what they're doing is because they've got the ownership under Fender and all the rest of that, and they're starting to change how things show up. And they're like Philip McKnight in his Know Your Gear podcast thing. He covered it a while back about how you search for something and you don't see every listing there, and it kind of like groups them together. So it's trying to pull some Amazon type shit, which Amazon, of course, if you're in the US, that is the big place. That's where so many people go and buy their gear. It's
comments here. TK says, I haven't bought anything from eBay for ages. It's completely swamped by counterfeit Chinese junk these days. Am I right? Yes and no. It depends on the seller. You just got to look at the feedback all the time, man. And Look, there's so much counterfeit stuff, and they just don't take it down. Like Heiko, for example, like almost everything on eBay that's Heiko is fake, and Faco we call them. I ordered way back when a 936 station, which was supposedly new. So I'm like, already alarm bells going off, but this was like 15 years ago, so I thought maybe it was new old stock, but ordered it, and I had a real one to compare it to, and it was fake. So the seller just gave me a refund, didn't ask for the thing shipped back, so I had a free fake soldering station that kind of worked, so I gave it to a mate.
Nice. It's the biggest one that I always say to people. Like, you see it on every time someone posts on like one of the electronics groups or something on Facebook or any other things. Oh, I want to buy these parts. I see them on eBay. It's like straight away. No, do not buy electronics parts from eBay.
Even if they are legit, like an actual hobbyist selling it, it's new old stock fucking crap, corroded leads.
Don't even get me started on that.
Gamble.
Fucking synth nerds and their goddamn pain in the ass ways refuse to believe that, like, the realities of what manufacturers actually say about electrolytics. But we'll leave that for later in the stream.
Didn't you know everything old is good, mate?
Oh, exactly, totally. You know, here we go. We got Lou here saying, sold a poster on eBay, shipped it to Texas. Somehow USPS upcharged me almost $100. What? $125 to ship a poster. How? Not eBay's fault, but I doubt I'll ever sell on eBay again. And that's the reality of what happens.
The US, Chris?
Yeah. And that's one of the messed up parts about what the successive administrations in the US have done to destroy the USPS and trying to make it insolvent so that it can be privatized by forcing it to pay up its pension requirements in advance way too early. Louis DeJoy being the head bloody honcho of it and all the rest of that, just destroying a system that should be there for public benefit. And then you end up with shit like this.
To make a loss.
Yeah, there are some things that aren't meant to be profit-making endeavors. The Post
Everyone
is
just
one
thinks,
of them.
oh, everything should be a business. Everything should be a business. Every leader should be a businessman. Fuck that.
No.
It's counterintuitive. It's just you're paying your tax dollars for this service. It's not supposed to make a profit. It's just trying to get it through people's heads these days. It's just so impossible with all the propaganda out there. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's like, especially, for example, if you're someone who lives in the middle of nowhere and you order for example, I know it's common in the US, you order your medicines to be shipped to you. And guess what? FedEx, UPS, DHL, these private companies, they're not going to go out to the middle of bumblefuck nowhere and send off a package for like, $8. No, they're going to charge you an absolute arm and a leg if their network even extends to it. They don't. But what they do is they engage in contract arrangements with USPS for last mile delivery to have USPS deliver to those regional areas.
So that's literally what you're gonna lose if you privatize everything. You just won't have fucking any logistics to remote areas, and not even that remote.
It's kind of like
through people's skull.
It's kind of like what's happening here in Australia with Ozpost to a degree. ScoMo and all of his infinite wisdom messed around with the exec that was actually making Ozpost profitable, but still providing services to everyone. So she actually did really well. Yeah.
And what was it? It was all over a fucking $5,000 watch or some bullshit?
Yeah. Some watches that were actually like all cleared. They were all legit and they were like, it was okay to be done. But no, they went and did that and they made Ozpost worse. Ozpost used to actually kind of be okay, but every like 6 months now.
Yeah, she was kicking ass.
Yeah. I'm getting a price increase on my shipping every couple of months. Like, just 2 years ago, I could send a small parcel package type thing, like a couple of small pieces to someone for like $6.83. Now the cheapest I can get it anywhere is $10.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of good reviews here for Reverb, and look, I sold a bunch of stuff on Reverb, and it's been all right. But we got Lou saying just sold a 74 gold top on Reverb, everything went smoothly, which is good. Grant us glorious tone, Grant us glorious tone. I haven't been ripped off on Reverb before. Knock on wood, and that's exactly it. Like, the majority of transactions are going to be okay. But it's the alarming rise in these scam type things that are operating within the specific terms and conditions that Reverb have set out that make it harder but easier at the same time to scam people, and obviously the rise in people who are jumping online and venting their frustrations at the system. You know, all these people, you know, Reverb's turned into a scam site. Customer service won't do its job. And when you've only got a couple of places to sell your used goods, because nowadays you don't have like what it used to be where you'd like go into a music shop and trade in something for something else, or you'd like jump on, I suppose in the US it's Craigslist and that, and here in Australia it was the trading post / Gumtree, that kind of thing.
I'm so old, I remember getting hard copies of that.
Yeah, man. I remember going through the trading post as a teenager going, man, I want me a 1970 Valiant Charger Project.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't have spare $4,000.
Yeah, now look at him.
Hilarious.
Good times. You know, the Motorcycle Trader is still in hard print, in hard copy.
Yeah, right.
That's been pretty much unchanged for the last, fucking 30 years. I was back in friggin' junior high when I got my first copy of that.
It's kind of like unique cars is still a thing.
Yeah, is it? Cool.
Yeah. Like, I love that. I love picking up, like, those things you look through, you just see, like, the classics that people have, the photos. There's, like, it's an old-school analog way of doing it that still kind of works, because I love
hard copy magazines, man.
I still got, like, a stack
Silicon
of them
chip.
somewhere. Silicon chip, yep.
Silicon chip. I used to have, like, a massive box of Electronics Australia magazines. I got rid of that when I moved 15 times in 1 year, unfortunately. But, yeah, I still get Silicon chip from time to time. I should get a subscription, I guess, or get the whole back catalogue on USB. But there's nothing quite like, you know, taking a big dump and reading the Silicon chip.
Just flicking through the page and being able to, like, go backwards and forwards between things easily.
Yeah.
It's like there are people who've tried making a go of it over the years. Like, did you ever follow Diode magazine?
Yeah, I did. It didn't last long, did it?
It was about 5 years. It had a good run.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where it just wasn't fiscally like viable anymore, so they did have to close it down, which really sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. And the other one was there was a motorcycle one about like cafe races and bobbers and stuff. That was wicked, and it was only about that big, and it was a really nicely like heavyweight printed one. It was about it was a little bit bigger than A5, and as a result, it was really nice to have it. I had it on the I had a little coffee table here when my shop was empty when I first opened up, and a little waiting area up the front, like a little reception. And I had a Tank Moto, that's what it was called, Tank Moto.
Nice.
And now they're online only, so.
It's the way things are going. Everything's going online, but it's not the same visceral feel as when you've got actual, like, something in your hands. You've got paper, you've got, like, pages you can fold, you can, like, look at things. You know, it's a different kind of vibe, and that's why I like that we've now reached an era of like indie publications that are starting to come out more that have like physical copies that pair with digital things. Like there's a YouTube channel out there that's also a magazine as well, which is called Current Affairs, which is like, you know, like the New Yorker, but for like leftist style political content. Then you've got there's like an Aussie gaming magazine that's just about to launch, and they just did a like one of their first major articles in it is covering the opening of Sega World, because they actually found an original copy of a video that somebody had that had the entire Sonic costumed show that they used to do there, because there was only ever like a 30-second snip of it online, and somebody actually found the full version. And it's just like,
you know what, I'm getting fed a lot these days of just like the experience of going to the supermarket in 1977.
Yep.
Like my feed is just chock-a-block full of this stuff, and I reckon I could go back to 1977 and still everything feel pretty much the same. I reckon.
Yeah.
You know, same packet, same shit. Maybe Might be hard to find some spices and stuff that I like, but, beside that, you can make it work. I could go back in time and make shit work. In fact, I'd probably end up with a fucking gourmet restaurant that would be like the talk of the town, because it's the only thing with any flavour.
Oh my god! Wow, he actually mixed in more than 2 herbs in there. My god,
That's right.
back in the days when
nostalgic shopping mall walkthroughs and stuff from the 90s, and what it was like to go to record stores and all that kind of stuff. Pretty awesome. I think people are really yearning for it. I think there might be opportunity to capitalise on some of that stuff in the future as well.
I wish there was, but the problem is that kind of like
Real
what
estate.
we're covering now, partially that, but also anytime any company does step forward and gets ahead, either the big guys step in and destroy their area, or they will literally just buy them up in their entirety. It is so much harder now to have somewhere physical.
I know there's hostile takeovers and stuff, but I just wish they had the fucking balls to just not sell out,
When you're faced with a choice of either you sell to us or we will drive you out of business, what do?
I don't know, murders?
We don't condone that.
No, we don't condone that. I was just
But
it's not an option. It's not an option.
No. But kind of coming back to the original, the overall arching topic of kind of like today's discussion, which is when you've got those monopolies and monopsonies, it prevents any real competition from being able to grow, prevents things from being able to be an alternative to just the one supplier. Because for those who don't know, okay, there is a phrase that was coined by sci-fi author and writer Cory Doctorow, which is called enshittification. Everyone knows the term. People don't actually really understand the mechanisms behind it and what it actually related to. So the thing with enshittification is it specifically originally was about platforms and how initially what would happen was a platform would get set up. Say, for example, Facebook. And it would go, awesome. We want you to come on and we want to make things as easy for you, the user, as we possibly can. You're on MySpace. Awesome. Hey, come over to Facebook. Here's a plugin that we've created that will allow you to transfer over your contacts from MySpace to Facebook. You won't lose it whatsoever. You'll have your contacts there and come over onto this platform. Check things out. Look, connect with grandma, connect with your friends, look at live music in the area.
Connect
check
with someone
things
else's
out.
Grandma, if you know what I'm saying.
Exactly. Join in on your local groups and everything, and we'll make it great for you. Then they started making some advertising. They got all these people that signing up. Now they have people in the environment. So they go to the companies, the businesses. Go, hey, you know what? You give us just a couple of dollars. We have all of this information and this knowledge, and we will put you front and center with all of these people on this platform. You're a music shop. Well, you're probably selling to people aged 18 to 55, mostly men, middle class and higher, that have disposable income and who are into music or bands or whatever else like that. You give us a couple of bucks and we'll put your ads in front of these people and they will see them and they will want to buy from you, and it won't cost you much. So then suddenly you've got the businesses on the platform. You've got the users, you've got the businesses. Well, the next thing is you want to, once you've got them locked in, siphon off the value from both of them. And that's where things start getting worse. So they start going to the businesses, hey, if you want to be seen on this platform, you're going to have to spend more money. We're going to have to put you there, and then you'll have to compete with others and put you in front of these people, but only certain amounts and certain times. And there's not really going to be anywhere else that you can advertise that'll be worthwhile, because guess what? All of these users are now trapped on this platform because we made it hard for them to migrate elsewhere. Anyone out there who creates a plugin that allows them to port their followers and all the rest of that from Facebook to another platform, no, we sued them out of existence. That doesn't happen. You want to speak to this person, you only speak to every couple of months, but Facebook is the only way with which you are able to communicate with them. The cost of migration is way too high. So now you've got the businesses and the users both stuck on that platform. Same thing happened with Amazon. Hey, You know, we're just going to plow money in from all these external investors at a loss to sell you convenience and cheap goods and all the rest of that. Hey, people, come over here. Amazon, everything you could ever need. It's on here. It's on a website. The search is excellent. You search for something, it comes up, and it's great. Hey, you know what? We're going to do fulfillment. Hey, businesses out here, you sell your products at Amazon. Look, you get a great rate. Customers will search. You'll be able to show them. They'll buy your goods from you until it gets so big that everyone is reliant on Amazon, that they start getting rid of those cheap prices. They get rid of everything so that now that half of what a business will pay on there is in junk fees just to get them to show up in any search, and it just gets flooded with cheap crap, with counterfeit merchandise and all the rest of that. And businesses have no choice but to go to Amazon, because every time anyone tried to compete with them, they were either put out of business or they had to begrudgingly go onto Amazon's platform to sell on there. For example, diapers.com, you know, they existed and they didn't want to sell out to Amazon, so Amazon went out there and literally undercut them by selling products cheaper than them, destroyed them, and then finally Amazon bought them out and then rolled them in, and that was it. So you only had them. So that is how shops stopped existing, because you have these big companies that control the platforms. They also can, that's the monopsony side of things. Amazon, Reverb, and to a lesser extent eBay. But then you've also got the monopsonies in where you can buy your products from, which are the distributors and all the rest of that. So for example, with companies like Innovative Music, InMusic, right? Look at all the brands that they own. Akai, Moog, Native Instruments, Newmark, Rain, Alesis, Denon, M Audio, Headrush, all of these companies under one umbrella. Go to Gibson, Epiphone, Kramer, Mesa, KRK, and Maestro, all under one banner. Fender, of course, you've got Fender, Squier, Jackson, PreSonus, Reverb now. All of these companies are being rolled into big, massive behemoths. And if you're a retailer, like what Brad and I are, you have pretty much two choices. You buy what they tell you to in the quantities they tell you to, or you get fucked. That's it. You don't have a choice. Small shops can't compete with the big guys that have the big, massive budgets to buy everything, or...
And getting fucked isn't as fun as it sounds either.
No. And the big guys are also tied into like these distributors and companies. In Australia, for example, we have the largest music chain in the country is Manny's and Store DJ, which is owned by the same company that owns the three largest distributors, which represent approximately 65% of all brands on the market. Like it's insane. It is just, these companies control what we can sell, what we can do, where we can buy, and it's also consumers as well, end buyers. Like the used market is dead now because people are broke, obviously, and it's been flooded, but now you have to sell through Reverb, which takes an ever-increasing cut. I think it's Sweetwater that allows you to sell like on their marketplace thing as well. Everywhere is becoming a marketplace, and everyone's charging ever-increasing like fees. You can't just like walk into a music shop now and do a trade-in because they don't exist. Rents go up, prices go up, margins go down.
And the other thing I keep telling people, because I always get asked if I do stuff on consignment, and I don't, because it's kind of a job in itself, and people want market value for their product, even though they want to sell it through a store. It's like, what the fuck? Do you think this is free? Like, so I just tell them straight up, it's not worth me taking in your stuff, because I'd have to charge literally like 30% at least, maybe 50% to. Well,
that's, I mean, that is the industry standard practice. So pretty much with the used gear,
you get more off selling it yourself.
Yeah, well, that's why I say to people, I say, look, I only recently stopped doing consignment sales because the market is so much in the toilet. It's like, what's even the point? I've still got stock that I'm selling, but for example, when someone brings me in something, it's 25% of the first $2,000, plus 20% of the next $2,000, plus 15% of anything over that amount there. So it's like a sliding scale, which kind of makes it worthwhile. But the trade-off is obviously the risk isn't on me to buy the stock and then try selling it. But trying to explain to people that, okay, I've got to take photos of it, I've got to make sure it's clean and able to be shown to customers, and then deal with like all of the people who are asking a million and one questions about things. That all takes time and effort. So yes, I'm going to do that. And if you come in here and go, I've got this guitar, I bought it for $2,000 and I want to get 1,600 for it, I'm going to laugh in your face. Yeah. It's like, in this market, you're going to get $1,000 if you're lucky. I will get $1,000 for it because, you know, I'm a retailer. I'm someone who, you know, people trust my knowledge and trust what I put out there, and I've got, you know, the selling history to prove it. But from that, I'm going to take 25%. If you want to sell it, you could probably sell it for less, like 800, get more in your pocket. But you have to deal with customers and the people asking questions and that.
Yeah.
And that is how that is going to go. A lot of people, thankfully, are reasonable about that. But I've just stopped.
You just got to be honest with them straight up and just make everything sound unattractive. Basically, these days, I spend most of my time talking people out of a job or out of buying something more than talking them into it, which means I'm not a very, very good salesman. But you got to be honest, because I'm not going anywhere, and they know where my address is. And if I start talking shit and trying to take advantage of people, everyone knows where to find me. So I'm not really keen on looking over my shoulder every day.
I mean, come on, you know. Gotta make sure, you sold me this shitty amp or these strings that were the wrong gauge.
Yeah, I sold you the shitty amp. It was a Mesa Boogie Mark 1. You fucking loved it.
The least shit of the lot.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's sort of looking at those lists, all those brands you showed me. Like, personally, there's not a single fucking thing I want from any of those brands. There's so much better options. But yeah. It's personal taste, I guess, but I've not had any problem staying away from all the major brands and shit, because there's almost always something higher quality from a smaller manufacturer out there, and that's just the way I roll these days. And
that's exactly how I ran the shop for 7 years. My whole thing was, I was proud of the fact that I never stocked Fender or Gibson or any of their sub-products. I went with brands and products that I trusted and I knew. For like guitars and that, it was things like Ibanez. They were great value for money. They were solid. They did the jobby. Tanglewood for acoustics. They were absolutely phenomenal. Then like things like amps and that. You know, I had Vox. I had Ampeg. Things
Vox and
I knew.
Orange, great choices.
Yep, I had Orange as well. All of those like categories that as a repairer I could sell to someone in good conscience and know that they were going to be half decent. And it sucks because I remember 15 years ago saying to everyone that one of the best guitars that you could buy while out on the market was a Mexican standard HSS Strat, and that would cover you for almost everything. Buy one of those, rock and roll.
Back in the day,
yeah. They were well made, the price was good. They were made out of like
the American ones.
Huh?
They had better necks than the American ones.
Like the bodies were made out of like scrap lumber from the cutting room floor, but that didn't matter. They were still put together well. I remember I had one guy who brought in a Strat body that he'd sanded, and he's like, "Did I sand it too much?" Because it was one of the Mexican standard ones.
You haven't got back there. You haven't got down to the metal yet.
It was a Mexican standard body, but the body was made out of like 6 pieces of wood and had the veneers on the top and back, as they do to cover up the seam lines. And he'd sanded through like patches of where the veneer.
Yeah, wow. 80 grit, leaning on it, half a bag of fucking vacuum dust.
Yep. Yeah, it was solid. They kind of did okay with what they were doing, but yeah, like they were using as much of the material as they could, and they made something that was kind of half decent. But now, it's not the case anymore.
Yeah. So just a quick one from Lou Woods, Chris. He bought some strings the other day, Termastic Infield Power Brights for $20, so that's American. Retail, they're $32. That's American. They're $42.95 over here because I am a Termastic dealer.
Yep.
That's borderline. That's very close to cost, but it is above it. So you could go either way. Either someone's making fucking nothing on them, or they are fakes. But yeah, when you get them, just check the pack for rust. The individual sachets for the strings, often the counterfeits will have spots of rust on them. I've even had counterfeit strings where one of the strings wasn't even made from a ferritic metal.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, someone was like, "Oh, there's something wrong with my pickup. One of the pole pieces must have lost its magnetism. It's like the A string's just not there." I'm like, "Really?" So I'm ding, 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 ding. It was just literally not even the tiniest bit of signal. And I'm like, what the fuck? But then, because he'd only used it on one pickup and he assumed it was a pickup, I switched pickups and I had the same problem on every pickup. And I'm like, what the hell? This is like a Monday morning. I'm thinking I'm still like tripping from off pizza I had on the weekend or something. And it turned out it was the string. I held a magnet to it, didn't even try and stick to it. I don't know what the fuck metal it was, but it was like some non-ferritic, and it was holding tune and had intonation. But yeah, that's the other thing you'll get with fake strings is you'll be doing intonation, and then there'll be one string that's just like outside the range of the saddle movement, and you'll be like, what the fuck? And then you're racking your brain trying to figure out, thinking it's you doing something wrong, and then you change the string and all the problems go away. So
I've had that happen.
Don't have any problems.
I've had that happen with like new packs of strings from the actual like the brands, but usually it's like one, maybe two defective strings, and it's like something weird. There'll be like an odd overtone or something, or like no matter where you play, no matter where you play along the neck, the string will like buzz, like the entire thing is out.
Big one.
Yeah, and that one, like, it'll, unless you, like, know these things, it really throws you off. And even when you do know, sometimes you just forget, and you're like, why is it, what is, fuck? And then, like, eventually
you know what that
clicks.
is, I reckon? I reckon it's the grains in the metal, when they're being drawn, there's impurities in the metal, and you've got differences in density within the metal. And what's happening is, if you remember physics classes at high school science or whatever, if you've got a rope that suddenly changes diameter, and you flick it, a wave will come back from the change in the thickness. It's like diffraction, but for sound, and that happens in the string, and it sends warbly sort of undertones up and down the string, and it sounds like when you wind your pickups up. Say you got a Strat, you wind your bridge pickup really close to the string, and then you play the note, and it's like it's got this real weird sound.
I mean, maybe. I think most of the time what it is less that and more so inconsistent tension on the actual wrap as it's going along. Because when when you've got like
that too,
part of them that aren't making contact fully with the core, or it's like ever so slightly loose, it acts pretty much like a shock absorber and changes that. Although I actually did watch a very good video the other day, even though I'm not a big fan of the channel, from Veritasium, who covered the oh god, I've forgotten the name of the thing when we did when I did electronic engineering. It was the graph that you have to use to work out the impedance and reactance and all the rest of that in a transmission line, and the way he covered it, like the way they were covering it about like reflected signals and all the rest of that with the changes in impedances. And yeah, they did the classic thing where it's like, here's a visual representation, which we did in TAFE as well, which is here's two slinkies, a plastic one and a metal one, and you plonk one of them and it goes along and the signal continues on, but you get a lot of reflection back as well.
Yeah, you get a reflection from every change in impedance. Yeah, it's amazing how many things can be analog for that, you know. Just got a message from Lou. Next time I'll order my TIs from you, Brad. Where are you, Chris? I thought you were in the States. I can't ship to the States at the moment. Sorry, man. Well, I'm not sorry. Your fucking government's sorry. But yeah, if you're in pretty much anywhere other than the EU or the US, I can ship to you. But yeah, obviously it wouldn't be worthwhile unless I ship you like a pack of 12 if you're overseas. TK, working at Mayton many years ago. Were you working at Mayton, bro? Working in the setup room, the Elixirs had a bad batch of strings and had the problems you described. Yeah, I'd still get... Elixirs are pretty good. I get like one in every maybe 500 strings. Is just one string that's fucked. Ernie Ball, I get probably one in every, say, 200 in just the standard slinky. But yeah, because it does happen so rarely, it really throws you through a hoop because you always assume it's something you've done yourself. But yeah, you did have a comment further up too, TK. I just missed it. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to love the old Viking stationery catalogs. Yes, I'm weird. You are not weird, man. That's a common trait in technical people loving stationery. I don't know what it is. Art shops, stationery shops. I walk around. I might buy a fucking Pacer pencil, but there's something. I've got a fetish for stationery too, man. It's not just you. And when they had the hard copies of the Viking catalogs, because Mum and Dad had a computer repair business back in the day from home, so they'd get all the office supplies, catalogs and stuff delivered. And yeah, flicking through the Viking catalog, I don't know what it is. There's something about a hard copy catalog and stationery combined with that. It's a nerd's version of porn, essentially. So you're not alone there, TK.
When I was a young boy, my father didn't take me into the city to see a grand parade, but my grandmother did get me a copy of a catalogue from Maryland's Music, because I was young, I was very, very poor, and she got me this
music. Fuck.
Yeah, Maryland's Music, little small shop. They were there up until about 18 years ago or so. Little tiny thing. They're also half of the shop was a hock shop as well, but went in there and I had a copy of the thing. So I would have been about 11 years old, 12 years old, and I just started getting into like playing guitar and that. My grandmother mailed me over this catalogue from Maryland's Music that had stuff in there, and I can still vividly remember it. I carried that thing around at school so much it started falling apart, and I had to sticky tape it together.
I won't ask about that one.
No, I had decided to put it back together. The pages weren't stuck together.
Sure.
Yep.
Remember the Pro Audio catalogs from Canberra? Man,
no,
they were
got them.
Fucking glorious, those things.
Because
I was in copy up until about 10 years ago.
Because I was in New Zealand from 98 through 2001.
Cheer, bro.
Back in January 2001. Terrible. And yeah, so my grandmother, she sent me over a copy of the catalogue and that, and she like scrimped and saved her pennies and everything, and got me in they had a guitar pack in there, which was an Ashton AG232, which was like one of their first ones, with a PV Rage 158, and it cost $229. It took her about 6 months to pay it off, and then when
Haven't you still got that PV?
No, unfortunately, I wish I did.
I
don't have any of that stuff. I have the first pedals. Sorry, I had one of the first pedals my mother bought me secondhand from Go West Music in Auckland. We were talking about that the other week. But like, I went through that catalog and I just thought it was just the coolest thing ever. And there was like I remember there was an RG 270 in there and an RG 320, and then on the back page as well. No, sorry, the front page. There was a PV 5150 half stack, and it was this massive price of $3,500. But bear in mind, we're talking like 1999 money, so.
I was drooling over the Mesa Boogies, and we know better now. But they had a lot of PA stuff, which really drew my attention. Recording microphones, mixing desks, and the interfaces that had started coming out, like the old Motu stuff. Man, it was pornographic to a kid. It was so cool. So the guitars themselves, I didn't really drool over that much, which is weird. But
so I think
the one that they did have in there that I was drooling over a little bit was the Gibson Studio, just the wine red or the green, the dark green stain one. And they're still really good guitars, man. They're one of the few that's, besides the neck, obviously. But
I mean, certain years, but like later ones were very, very hit and miss, very bad.
Yeah, because but I'm talking like late 90s. They were pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Like, that was kind of like the era where Gibson had pulled their shit together.
Yeah, and they cut the corners in the right places, like just cosmetic stuff. Let's just make a cut down, meat and potatoes guitar. It's got all the essential shit. You shut your eyes, you could be playing a custom, but you open your eyes, realise there's no binding, there's lots of cost cutting that doesn't really affect the playability, and I like that.
Yeah, slightly thinner body, all that kind of jazz.
Yeah, that was part of the reason why I like the Faith guitars. You could get the exact same internal construction, but you could get a matte finish one with no binding, no embellishments for less than half the cost of the expensive one that had the gloss finish and all that abalone and all sorts of stuff inlaid. So yeah, you could get the same playing and same sounding instrument, but cut down to the bone to get the cost down, but with no real compromise to the playability or the sound. I really respected that. I thought that was cool.
Yep. There was solid. There was solid kind of units, and that's why I loved like Tanglewood as well. Like the quality on them was always just like solid. I could pick up any Tanglewood at any price point and just go, this punch is so far above its weight, it's beyond a joke.
Yeah, I got Luke a Tanglewood. He got one of the nice. It's like a $1,700 one or something.
Yeah, right. Solid top, back, and sides. Bone nut, bone saddle. Yep.
Yeah. Once you go above that veneer range, they get really good, and the fretwork's really nice.
Well, I mean, even just the solid top ones, they do it like $500-600. The mahogany ones, like the Union series, damn.
Yeah, as long as you go a solid top, there's a massive difference between a ply and a solid top, and there's maybe 20% difference in tonality between plywood back and sides and solid. It is different, but if you can't afford the full solid, you'll get a higher quality guitar if you do go ply back and sides, but solid top, you get it's sort of a step up in quality there, because as soon as you go all solid, if it's the same price, they make a lot of compromises internally where you don't necessarily see it, and that's where it really matters for strength and tonality. So we're off topic, but that's what I do best.
Exactly. That's all right. I'm gonna drag it back, because back to what we were saying before about the like the.
I'm just busy making blue tack sculptures here.
I'm currently playing with a fader from a DJ console that I've got here on the bench in front of me. That's because I'm doing like all that kind of shit for Sound Group. But here we go. Inflation calculator. So 3,500 in 1999, 7,300. Oh, okay. But then again, we've also got to think that was also at a time when the Aussie dollar was at like 54 cents to the dollar. Was insane. It was so bad. But yeah, $7,300 in today's money for a 5150 head and their cabinet, and that was with the cabinet as well.
There,
Not exactly small.
Now, it's 72 US cents as of today.
Yeah. But here we go. The chart I was talking about, the Smith chart. This thing.
Smith chart. Yeah,
Smith chart. Yep, so Smith chart is when you're basically dealing with reflected impedances and loads and stuff where you need to maximize power transmission in like a line of broadcast and that, so you're dealing with like your imaginary numbers. So you've got impedance, you got your impedance and all that kind of jazz. You've got your standard linear like resistance stuff, and then you got your reactance, so you got impedance on one side and inductance on the other, and then that's how you use this chart to work out the easiest way to get as close as you possibly can to Z of 1. So Z of 1 means maximum power transfer through to the next stage, because unlike what we deal with, like how with electronics and stuff that we deal with mostly for audio, we want to see an impedance of input impedance 10 times higher than the output impedance, so we get maximum voltage transfer. In stuff like radio and transmission, you want maximum power transfer, so you want to basically make sure that you get as much power to the next section, so the impedance matching gets a lot more complicated, and that's where like the Smith chart and others come in handy for doing those calculations. Yeah, doing those units did my goddamn head in at TAFE, and then like having to deal with and
I still have to revise that stuff periodically. Usually when I'll go on a holiday, I'll take a couple of textbooks with me just for revision, man. Because it's easy. If you don't use those calculations every day, you forget all about them.
Yep, I've forgotten so much. I need to actually sit down, pick up my copy of The Art of Electronics, and also Floyd's books.
Small signal audio design as well.
Yep, Douglas Self, and just rehash the basics, the things that you kind of forget that when you spend so much time fixing things, you start like spending less time delving into the problems and just going, I've seen that before. Boom. Yeah. I've done that before. Okay, and then like roughly here, but then you get to the ones where you've actually got to use your thinker, and you go, wait, what's that? Fuck, can't remember now. Now I've got to like.
to be honest, like 90% of this job is just rule of thumb, close enough, near enough, and empirical experimentation. You know, but if you're designing from scratch, a lot of the time, it kind of is a waste of time reinventing the wheel. You know, 100k plate load's going to work, blah blah blah. You know, a 1.5k fucking bias resistor with a 4.7 microfarad bypass cap's going to work. Bang, and it goes. You know off the top of your head what changing that cap value or that resistor value is going to do.
Yep.
And then you get it in the ballpark and you tweak from there, basically. But yeah, if you're designing stuff from scratch, like instrumentation, where absolute accuracy is required. When I say absolute, I don't mean absolutely accurate. I mean relative to a reference point. That's where there's no playing. You've got to really you've got to calculate everything to the dime. So. Yeah, it's a bit of a art as much as it is a science. This trade we have, but yeah, it is cool seeing the professional audio stuff where it is more of a science than an art.
Yeah, see, a lot of that stuff as well is like beyond my pay grade as far as design goes. I can fix it, but
absolutely.
If I had to sit there and design something from scratch, it's like, yeah, no, that ain't gonna happen. But that's also why there's like teams now that do it. You've got one guy that's just designing like the front end, one who's designing the back end, one who's designing the DSP and the makeup stuff and that for it, and then you've got another like team of like 3 people that are designing PCBs for them. They're gonna make sure everything's all just chink chink chink.
Away you go.
Exactly.
TK, I try to read Art of Electronics at least a couple of times a week, I think you mean, but before bed. It's impossible to have everything in the foreground memory at all time. Yeah, not for me anyway. Some people like 6, it's a bit easier. Fucking savant.
Look, I remember a bunch of random shit, but then there are times when I can't even remember like the most basic things. Don't ever ask me to remember somebody's name. That ain't gonna happen. And don't ask me to remember to do something, because I will forget to do shit.
That thing where you're at a party and you got to ask someone's name like 6 times.
Yeah,
that's why it's so good in Australia, because everyone's mate. How you going, mate?
He's gone, mate.
Yeah, and if you really should know their name and you don't, you just stretch out the mate. You go, mate.
Right, yes, how's it going,
mate?
Oh my god. But yes, monopolies, monopsonies, they absolutely suck, and they are killing gear. They are making things worse for everyone. We're seeing like less quality stuff out there because companies know they don't have to try anymore. Like, you get your smaller companies that are trying to break into the market, but they reach a certain level and they can't really progress beyond that because big guys.
Yeah, it feels like there's a ceiling there, for everything. Even the medium-sized manufacturers in terms of pedals and stuff. As soon as you get to the point where you've got to basically be your own distributor, your returns get more and more diminished, and it's sort of like a self-limiting thing these days. Plus, the market's just so flooded with gear. If we're just talking solely gear, like not like music distribution or anything, there's just too much gear out there, man. To be honest, like,
yep, everyone bought up.
If you were just getting into it, like, you'd have no idea where to get started.
Everyone bought up during COVID. They had money, they spent it, and now people are flooding it with used gear, but also the big guys forcing so much stock onto dealers and then expecting the dealers to move that stock. The dealer is that like cushion between the customer and the company, so the company can show to their owners, look, we're still shifting product, we're still making money.
Don't I fucking know it. Honestly, I've gotten a lot of pressure from sales reps recently. There's been people coming out that have never even answered my emails in the last few months. They've been starting to turn up with coffees and shit and fucking catalogs and merch bags and stuff. And I'm thinking, I know it's not because I'm fucking making a big splash.
It's because nobody else is buying.
I'm just chooching along at the same level I always have been. But that shows to me that the economy's fucked. And they can't rely on even the majors to buy enough stock to turn over. They're getting pressure off their managers to sell more. They're saying us as a bank, basically, they can sell their stuff to us, They don't need their warehouse then. They can move stock, go back, hit their KPIs or whatever. And yeah, it's worrying. As soon as the reps start coming here thinking, this little shop's going to be their saviour, it's a bit of a fucking worry.
What's kind of messed up is that, like, for years, I had a grand total of 2 reps ever come into my shop to try to sell to me. That's it.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, I had to go to distributors to go, hey, I want to buy stuff from you. And even then, they were like, oh, like it was such a hassle.
Yeah. It's like, I want to give you money. Fucking take the money, you fucker.
I want to sell you products. I want to do all that kind of jazz. But no, they've either got, pre-existing things with other bloody retailers, which is annoying. Yeah. Or they're like, oh, you've got to buy this much and that. And I'm like, dude, just sell me a couple of things. You want all of this big stuff. No one's going to do it. And they've shot themselves in the foot now. Oh, yeah, you want to be a dealer of this, you've got to have 6 of this line, 7 of that line, you've got to have, 9 amps on display, you've got to have these in store, you can't, do this, can't do that.
Look, to be honest, they are starting to ease up a bit, and because so many music shops don't rely on repair, repair is my buffer. Yeah. It's how I can pay the bills, even when sales go to shit, because there's always going to be broken shit. So some of them are starting to ease up on that. There's no minimum order quantities. You don't have to carry the whole line. So I'm gravitating towards those brands, but also brands that I can trust. So Fishman, for example. Yeah. So yeah, it's a matter of you've really got to have your ear to the ground and know what's popular, know what you can sell, know what's quality, know what the feature set is, know what companies offer support, and that's the sort of considerations I have. And then just what distributor wants to take over the world and what one just wants to chooch along and just be a distributor. So they're the ones I gravitate towards, and it's working okay.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the smaller ones are good. Like, I always like dealing with National. They were always good with me. National were good. Alpha they were kind of okay, but
I've only really dealt with them for parts, but they have reached out recently, so I think they're looking for more sales too. So I think they're realizing they've got to diversify a bit. There's no big cash cows anymore. They've got to.
Well, I think with them as well, they're kind of panicking because after distributing them for 30 plus years, PRS have moved over to Daddario for distribution. Yeah. So they lost their one of their biggest brands in the portfolio, because they do their 3 bigger brands were Martin, Marshall, and PRS. Now they don't have PRS. Okay. They're going off to Daddario. So things are changing a lot in the industry, and we're seeing a lot of that with more consolidation as well. Like, brands are consolidating their portfolios into single distributors, or even doing direct distribution now.
That's annoying.
Yep. Or it's certain changes, with Ernie Ball splitting off their US stuff now, and it's just being distributed by 2 retailers in Australia. It's no longer being distributed by a top level company.
The Ernie Ball, you mean Music Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
US. Ernie Ball's still going through.
Yeah. Ernie Ball's still distributing and doing its thing, but the Music Man stuff, the US made stuff now is all just being done through a direct retailer instead of actually being done through a distributor to move on to other things. They're consolidating that to specific things, which allows them to keep a higher price point as well. Yeah.
Man, the last price list for Music Man was out of control. I constantly get people asking about him, and I said, man, you don't want to know. There's literally nothing on that list under $6,000.
Nah, God no.
And they're like, what?
Yeah. And then you get to the BFR stuff, the Ball Family Reserve, and it's $15,000.
Yeah.
And then John Petrucci models.
You're just a collector at that point. Most of my customers are players and gigging, and fucked if you're going to take a $15,000 guitar out on the road.
I mean, enough of them do. They go out there and they carry an over-expensive bloody guitar and a quad Cortex and custom IEMs and all that kind of jazz to play to a room of 9 people.
Yeah.
There are so few venues left in Sydney now. Oh my God.
I was reading an article about this morning. I think in the last 12 months they've had 9 closures.
Yep.
So, I mean, I know we had an episode about that a few weeks ago, but I Oh yeah, I've got to finish reading that article. Essentially, a lot of there's a lot more DIY stuff happening now.
Yeah.
Um,
We've returned to the days of, like, I remember being in high school and getting together mates, and we'd organise a gig down at the Scout Hall in, like, places like Wentworthville and that. And it'd just be like, you know, someone would get a PA and they'd set it up in there, and the bands would come in and do it. It was just a thing. It was like, you know, $5 tickets come along, and there was like 6 bands on, and everyone was like shit except for one band that were like actually really quite good. But it was fun. Yeah, but damn, it was fun.
You know what? Cairns has a bit of a music scene, man. In that tiny little city, about the size of I don't know, Campbelltown, if that. It's there's like 5 music venues there, man.
And much like Campbelltown, I assume it's mostly country.
No. It's like punk rock. Covered in graffiti and shit, hipstery looking. I got told by a few customers that man, if you're there for a while. I was only in Cairns one night, which sucked. But yeah, I would be keen to get back up there and do a bit of research first, see who's playing. But essentially, in a lot of these country towns, the sort of rural areas, they all fucking converge at like 1 or 2 venues, and there's a really strong sense of community. Port Lincoln's the same, where one of my mates, the whole town goes to watch live music on a Friday, Saturday night. So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I think it's mainly cost of living pressure in the cities. People just can't afford to go out that much. But in the country, some of these venues are doing the sort of mosh pit thing, charging fuck all for drinks. So people actually go out and
well, I think as well with a lot of those venues out in the middle of nowhere is that they know that people aren't spending as much, but also the rents didn't increase to the same degree because you don't have a single place that, like, just the building itself is worth 10 mil.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, another venue that's probably going to close in the near future is Lady Hampshire. Lady Hampshire.
Really?
Lady Hampshire down in Camperdown, because the building's up for sale. Okay, they're going to sell it to someone else who's going to buy in and go, awesome, I've just bought this for like 15 million or whatever, some stupid amount. Now I'm going to have to charge a lot of money. The operators inside of here, your rent is going to go up massively as a result of this, or we'll just deck it out and throw pokies in there.
Yeah. I think in some of these more rural areas, the operators actually own the venue too, so there's no landlord to contend with. And some, more often than not, those owners are quite, let's say, eccentric. So they've got a big focus on art and creativity, which is fantastic. But you just get priced out in any city, any capital city anyway.
Well, this is why we're seeing a lot of, like, long-standing businesses close, like, including some music stores and all the rest of that, because people don't realize with, say, for example, if you own a property and you're running a business out of it, okay, great. You're maybe turning over, you're profiting maybe 150 grand a year out of a business in some particular area. Cool. The property value goes up and up and up, and the rents all around you go up and up and up, and you're still there running a business, and it gets to a point where it's like, okay, I can keep working my ass off and make my 150 grand a year, or I could rent the building out and charge $200,000 a year and not have my shop here anymore. Well, what do you do? There are a lot of people who will just step back and go, all right, someone else is stepping in and doing the work, and I'm doing absolutely nothing and making more money for it. And that is happening to so many stores. For example, you had, High Street Music or whatever it was trying to sell the second location out in Katoomba, but he wanted to hold on to the building because he wanted the rent income, just didn't want the hassle of running the shop. It's
half his luck.
Yeah, the values keep going up, but it gets to a point where, okay, so you either run your business in there or you just rent it out to someone else to do it, and you don't actually add any extra value to it, but you make it so that a business that is now there has to charge so much just to keep on top of things. And as a musical retailer, man, you need so much space to store this shit. Guitars are massive.
Yeah.
They're not like some clothing or something like
kits,
that.
fucking hell.
Oh god,
What do
no.
you get, like 4 square meters for a single setup drum kit? Like,
Yeah. That's why old mate who owns half of the block down there, Drummer's Dream, that's his whole thing. It's literally just a playroom for him.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. Because he owns that too, apparently.
Yeah, no, he owns half the block, literally.
He owns like the block, yeah.
Yeah,
owns
he
all the
owns
mechanics
so
and
much
shit
of that
around there,
land.
I think too. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I used to service them years ago until they wanted me to like pick stuff up and drop it off same day after repairing. He's like, well, what? No, I live like 2 hours drive away, bro.
Yeah, no, that's where you put me in touch with them, and I dealt with them for a little while before I told them to go eat my ass.
Yeah, and I was waiting like months for bills and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I don't need this anymore. Goodbye.
Well, I was trying to deal with them and trying to get them to use the online portal so I could track things and book things through, but also like they wanted these things done and they wanted them done for this price, this time point, and I'm like, nah, man, that's not how it goes.
A lot of these. Part of the reason I stopped doing any work for music stores is I don't know what shifted, but it was like probably like 2016 maybe. They all started like telling me how much I was going to charge for a job. I'm like, no. And they're like, yeah, it's got to be $200. I go, what do you mean? Yeah, you got to charge us $200. I go, okay, go tell the service station that it's got to be 50 cents a litre. Like, fuck off.
Go tell your mechanic that they've only got to charge like, $120.
Yeah. So they started like attacking your ego. Oh, your work's not good enough. It's like, okay, what's wrong with it? And then they couldn't answer it, and it's like, it should be quicker. Okay, so I should be cheaper because it takes too long. What the fuck? It's like the opposite. Yeah, so I just said, nope, see you later. Plus, you have it in your own store. People buy a strap, a set of strings, a guitar slide when they pick up their repair. And if I was working for the music stores, they don't even tell the customer that it wasn't them that worked on the amp or whatever.
No.
So as far as the customer knows, that shop fixed it, and I get no credit. They get the extra sales. They make a cut. So the only drawback of that was dealing directly with the customer, which can be a little time consuming. I might just have a delivery. Just one sec, man.
Yeah, too easy. Yeah, like, people don't realize how much of a pain in the ass it is to be a repairer for a retailer. Thankfully, in my case, I did go over to dealing with distributors directly. So when I've got a distributor that I'm working with, they know exactly how much they're going to pay me because I tell them how much they're going to pay me. They don't get to say, oh, we need you to do them for this much or whatever. It's like, no. This is how much the repair is going to be. And thankfully, they pay for it because they don't really have a choice. Not anymore. Here in Sydney, there are like... There's Brad, myself, and like 3 or 4 others of varying levels of skill and scope. Then you've got 2 large companies that do like a mixture of things. So they're doing hi-fi, like keyboards and amps and pro audio, stuff like that. They're not like dedicated music repairer type things, so they can do them. They've got the service documents, but they're not like specialized in it. Whereas someone like myself, I can go, awesome, here's a guitar amp. I know exactly where it's meant to be noisy, where it's meant to not be noisy, and I can work on it from there. So I can justify my prices from that specifically. It is a very different kind of world now than what it was 10 years ago when we were both kind of getting into doing more of the serious type things. But when you're a repairer as well, you've obviously got to deal with customers, you've got to do all that, but you have the ability to speak with them directly and also follow up afterwards. You send an email out going, hey, I've got the, I noticed it's been a while since your guitar's been set up. How's it going? I want to check in and let them know. Kind of like how back in the day you used to go to your local business. You'd go to a mechanics, or you'd go to a bank or something like that. And there was someone there that kind of knew what you were about and could follow up and go, hey, how's this going? How's that going? What do you need? What can we do for you? It's just not like that anymore. Here we go through some comments. What we got? Small Signal Audio Design from Sun Tzu Bean. Reading that right now. It is a very good book. Very, very good. I had to really learn transistors to understand the first few circuits. And that is, look, that's something I say to everyone. Before you migrate onto some of the more technically in-depth documents, go out there and learn the fundamentals. Learn how to bias a transistor. Learn how to Thevenize a Wheatstone bridge, which is a terminology most people would just go, huh? Why would I ever need to do that?
It's the equivalence.
Yeah. Learn how to do mesh and nodal analysis. It's things like that that allow you to look at a circuit and go, oh, okay, I kind of understand what's going on there. I understand that. All right. Gotcha.
Noodle analysis. Now I want ramen.
I'm still so full from yesterday. We're talking about Sun Tzu Bean was saying small signal audio design, currently reading through that and saying that he had to really learn transistors to understand the first few circuits.
I think transistors, this is a common thing. They're a big speed hump in the learning process. I think partially because they've got 3 terminals, and that confuses people. You used to an input and an output, and either can be an input, either can be an output. There's so many different configurations you can put them in. But yeah, don't think you're alone on that one, because transistors are a big hurdle for everyone getting into electronics. They're a weird concept, essentially.
Yes and no. I mean, transistors basically just a glorified, literally a valve, You got one thing that controls the other part there. So small in, big out. The crazy one is when you're getting into FETs, like JFETs and MOSFETs, because then you're trying to talk about transconductance and you watch people's heads explode when you talk about voltage in, but current out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, cool. But they're the best books to get started with. But even don't look if you're an adult and you're getting into this, don't be afraid to go to really beginners books, because sometimes the analogies do help you get over a hurdle. And once you lock in the concept of it, things get a lot easier. I still get that from time to time, talking about specific circuit blocks and whatever. I'm like, oh fuck, that's how it works, righto. And after that, things fall into place pretty quickly. So. But one book, just talking about books, I did get Merlin's new book, the all-in-one.
I have yet to get that one.
Man, it's really good, eh? It's got the addition. Basically, it's all the other books rolled into one. Yeah. But he does go into depth about some stuff, and there is some modernized stuff in there as well, where he's talking about stuff that you will encounter in production amps these days. And man, so much protection circuitry. He doesn't really go into just one chapter on protection circuitry, but every chapter throughout, he's got ways to make that stage not fail. And just reading that and taking notes, I might do a video on that actually, because we just go through, summarize all the different protection strategies that are never installed in any stock amp. And part of the reason we see so many failures in amps is because that extra 50-cent diode gets left out. How often do you see arc protection in just a triode gain stage with a Zener? Never. Yeah. I don't think I ever have, in any amplifier. But then when you turn it on, you can destroy valves if if there's no standby switch used. And all sorts of crazy shit can happen. Heater ground lift circuits attached to valves that are on friggin' cathode followers and stuff. There's so much safety stuff you can put in your amp that doesn't change the tonality at all, but just makes your amp so much more reliable. And no one does it. No one.
It's because they're designing products as though it was still 1966. They're making products the way they did back then, ignoring the fact that we've now got another 60 years of production knowledge that can still be applied to ancient technology, ancient topologies. Yeah. We can still make them better, but they don't.
They just copy paste. Things like flyback diodes. You almost never see them in production amps. There's a few that have them, but yeah, highly recommended.
Yeah.
Mobs across the output transformer primary. All sorts of stuff like that can. You often get the old Fender amps where the speaker jack will short, and they think that that's flyback protection because you're shorting the secondary of the output transformer. But what happens if your cable falls out of the speaker cabinet or you blow your speaker? Now you've got no flyback protection.
Yep.
So yeah, you can have so much safety built into your amp, protect itself. I mean, things will still go wrong. Valves are glorified light bulbs. They're put into a socket for a reason.
JFET with a pilot light.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, there's a lot that could be improved though. So I'm going to endeavour in amps that I design in the future to have all that stuff integrated.
I'm having learned from others who have been in the production side of things, there can also be limits to that as well. There can be a point where you add too much to it, where you overcomplicate the circuit and you're not really getting any kind of benefit over things.
Yeah, like the auto biasing computers and the shutdown systems and the FETs in the cathode, like in the Hughes and Kettners, all of that stuff. That's over engineering. That's silly. But I do understand it's dual purpose in that case because they want to be able to switch the power levels. But feature creep, man, feature creep. You don't need all that shit.
There are certain things you put in to make something more reliable, more robust, that is, you know, going to do the right thing. For example, with like, I love Merlin's design that he has for like the bias circuit, where it's like it makes it so that it's impossible almost to have the circuit fail in any other way except for full negative bias to the tube to like put it right into cutoff. It also prevents like backflow with the diode in there and all that kind of jazz as well. It's a really well thought out circuit, and a lot of people don't. They still just have a very basic voltage divider in there, or even worse, you get like Marshall with their like dual bias setup that they're interactive, when literally all they have to do is flip the leads on one of the pots and they become independent.
Yeah. I just battle on with them because I know how they work now. I've got a feel for it, but yeah, that confuses a lot of techs. But yeah, the other advantage of flyback diodes is if you have an amplifier that's predisposed to the space charge basically negatively charging your filter caps, and I've had amps go to negative 20 volts on the B+. The flyback diodes are limited to the diode drop, so you only be like
0.7,
like 1 point, less than a volt negative, so you less of a chance of damaging your filter caps. So many advantages, often to a single part.
Yep. That's something you don't see on so many products these days because, once again, monopolies and monopsonies. You've got a couple of companies that are making the products and designs, and everyone's just copying the old designs. No one's... There are very few people who have original ideas, and if they do, and they make a couple of products, it's like, okay, that's great, that's excellent, but then they don't have a market for it, or they end up folding after a little while, or just,
G'day, Joe. How you going, mate? G'day, Joe. What do you know? TK's just saying a lot of venues and festivals here are struggling too with the new super laws enforcement. Oh, you're talking about the superannuation? Yeah, you got to pay for the I feel like I want to learn more about that, and I want to maybe figure out what's involved because it sounds like it's maybe not as complex as people are making out.
Oh, I know that Michael West did a good rundown on it. Where is it? Where is it? He did a bit of a rundown on the superannuation thing for venues. Where is it? Except, of course, Google and their bullshit absolutely destroys everything. Oh my god, you can't just like search and have something actually work. Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Are you talking the AI's kicking over?
No, like, well, they've destroyed their search because they want everything to be AI because everything is computer now. And you, for example, I just tried to search on YouTube for the video that they had on the musician super stuff. Do you think I could see it? Nah. Nope. And you search, I just want to see ones for this year. Can you see it? Nope. Not there.
I feel like there should be a collection agency that makes it simpler. Because yes, I know that venues have a lot on their plate, and when you're bogged down in government legalese, it might just be easy to not do it at all. But at the end of the day, you're collecting a little extra for their superannuation, and you're giving it to them like any other employer. I don't think it's that bad, but if it could be red tape that's giving them the shits, that's why I want to learn more about it. I personally think it's a good thing, because musicians are known for not treating themselves financially or health-wise as well as they should. And if it becomes a legal requirement for them to do so, I think it will in the long run, will make the music scene a lot more sustainable, and people for whom that's their primary income, it'll be a long-term benefit. But yeah, I haven't gone down the rabbit hole yet. I should read more about it.
Yeah. There's a lot to it, and like I can kind of see both sides of the thing, because the law was also on the books as well beforehand. It just wasn't enforced.
Yeah.
Which is kind of stupid.
It was like 2005 or something, or 2007.
Yeah.
It's been on there for ages, and just no one enforced it.
But I think it's also a bit of a cop-out. It just gives these people a chance to go, oh, it's too hard now, we can't do it. And it's like, okay, if the things were that, like, if the things were teetering that much before, how were people making money and doing things that way?
I mean, at the end of the day, you're talking, it's like another, what is it, like 10% or something?
Yeah, 12.
It's like, if that's
10,
the make or break. Yeah, if that's the make or break with your gig, man, you've got bigger problems than fucking...
Well, the thing that they're complaining about is that it's because it's got to be paid immediately on the pay cycle.
Yep.
So you can't, like...
Oh, no.
Yeah. Like, oh no, we're not allowed to, like, 90 day it as we do to push things out to the end of the quarter.
Drag out. Yeah. Well, I mean, fucking, it should be, like, paid on the spot. Musicians should literally carry around a fucking square and just take the fucking payment off a credit card from that venue that night before they go on stage. Do the old Chuck Berry.
Here we
Give me a suitcase of cash before I even walk on stage.
Yep. Here we go. TK saying it's simple enough, but a venue has live music seven days a week. There are very few venues who do that. Very, very few. Actually, one of the reports came out recently about the number of venues out there who were doing it, and I think it was like less than 2% had music more than 3 nights a week. The rest of them were all like once a week, if that. There we go. 7 days a week has to now take super details and make dozens of transactions a week for like $8 per musician. Sounds harder than it is, but as someone who's had like 8... Well, that's the thing. I've had like 8 staff before. It's not that hard. All you need is the super stuff that goes through the clearinghouse. Like, it's an extra like 2 lines on there. The thing they're all complaining about is that previously, until this year, you could basically pay your staff and then not have to pay them their super until the end of the quarter, which meant that as people make their money in super through it sitting in like index funds and mutual funds and accounts and growing. So 90 days loss of growth, when you do that
Who's paying the interest?
Yeah, 4 times a year, you're losing money, which fair call. It is one of those sorts of pains in the butt, really.
It sounds like it's the implementation that if you fix the implementation, made it a collection agency, sort of like APRA, they could shove their complaints up their ass. It's basically
but then again, it just means that
sounds like an excuse.
Yeah, but then you've got like an external company handling just one particular industry versus like this is a thing that affects everyone. Sole traders and small businesses and all the rest of that have had to do this for years anyway. But musicians are a little different with how they kind of operate because it's a whole thing. It's weird. It's annoying. We got Joe saying my country is destroying farms and building AI data centers where we have thousands of acres of desert that could be utilized. Hey, I got a better idea. How about we just don't fucking build those stupid goddamn centers? It's nothing more than goddamn circular economy bullshit that does nothing to make anything better for anyone. There's a difference between like a data center.
It's going to go down before the end of the year.
God, nah. The market can remain, buddy. The market can remain irrational much longer than we can remain solvent. It will continue on and it will keep going stupid. Fuck it, it's so dumb.
Fuck AI.
All of it. Like, as I was saying to someone the other day, it's like, I want AI to go through my parts inventory and lists and look at my like repairs list, and read my notes and go, I need to order this, this, and this, and these repairs have been coming in more often, so we should order these. I don't want AI to give me a goddamn horrifying trypophobia-inducing poster of some god-awful food joint or some, like, venue or musician.
So sick of those posters, man.
I am sick of, like, these AI musicians. Bro, you're not a fucking musician. You're a goddamn loser. That's all you are. Fuck you. Fuck you and your goddamn bullshit. Go out there and learn a goddamn instrument. Oh, it's too hard. Fuck off.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. Michael Jackson couldn't play an instrument, and the goddamn bastard wrote Billie Jean a cappella.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got a voice, you got a brain, write it down. Learn notation.
The thing with AI that really shits me is, as a repair tech, getting people quoting, oh, it said this is wrong. God. I go, well, put a screwdriver in the hand of fucking ChatGPT and tell it to fix it. Fuck off.
I am
people
just...
not trusting techs because the AI. Imagine what doctors are like now. Like, imagine Dr. Google was bad enough, but with AI, fucking hell, it'd be misdiagnosing all sorts of shit.
Except there's been cases now of doctors using AI and fucking up.
Oh. Should be fucking... I don't know. It's got to come to a head in the next 2 years. I honestly think it's going to exist to some degree. It's going to still remain, but it's not going to be anything like the hype. It's gonna just, I don't know. It's such a big topic. We need a video just for that. But there's enough people commentating on it now.
Who cares? We can comment on it as well. People want to hear our opinions. Fuck it. Here we go. Let's punch something into the magic Google box. Right.
Here we go.
Here we go. My guitar amplifier is making a loud popping sound. Hey, I got no AI. Where's my AI? I feel ripped off.
It hurt us.
Yeah,
it hurt us.
Do I have AI turned off?
Do you have
why?
A browser extension?
Well, I'm using Brave.
No, right, Firefox has that too.
Yeah, Brave is pretty solid for that. What does it do? Has it turned off?
Did you find it a coincidence that as soon as Australia brought in the
there we go, turning off shields. There we go.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's a good shield.
Yeah, it works well. Huh. There we go. And it just like, here we go. Loud popping sound from guitar amplifier usually means a bad cable, a dirty loose or connection, a failing vacuum tube, or an internal electrical fault. Wow, really? So it could be anything.
Yeah.
Easy external check. Swap your instrument cable with a known working one. Okay, yeah. Try a different guitar to rule out loose jack. Yeah, okay. Plug the amp into a different wall outlet to check for grounding or power issues. Unplug all pedals and connect the guitar straight to the amp. Kinda, yeah. Common internal issues if it's a tube amp. Bad tubes, first thing. Oh my god, seriously.
Never. Loud popping's usually from an intermittent plate connection in my experience.
Dirty sockets. Dust or corrosion inside the tube sockets can arc and pop.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, I had that on the last couple of amps. But the thing is, literally anything can cause any symptom in an amp almost. And there's such a cross-reference chart of... It's just like, my amp's got hum. It could literally be any component, any connection in the amplifier. There's some that are more likely than others, but as a repair tech, the reason I'm bald is because the likely causes are never the one that actually is.
There we go.
You probably know this, but if you type -AI at the end of each search, it turns that shit off. Really? What is that on all engines, TK? Or I doubt that'll remain for long.
Yeah, the old Boolean operators and that.
They stopped working at some point too.
Yeah, they turned them off about a decade ago.
Yeah, right. Because they basically, if well, you used to be able to search a sentence, and now it's like it returns every search result that has any of those single words, no matter what operators you put in, and that's super annoying.
Yep. You used to be able to like type in like words and strings, ignore this, and like, you know, bracket quotes and stuff like that. And you could actually, they were usable, they were cool, they did good stuff. You know.
You felt like a hacker typing in.
Man, back in the days when like Google was like this amazing and magical thing, it was just like, oh my god, I typed this in, I used like a half-broken sentence and 3 of the words were misspelled, even though it's only a 5-word sentence, and still it found me the exact thing I was looking for. Not anymore.
Felt like Sandra Bullock in The Net.
Mm.
That was a funny movie.
Yep. But yeah, I'm going to turn that bloody shield back on because all my homies hate AI. It's awful. But going back to what we were saying about like books and things that are interesting to learn from and that, when I was at TAFE and doing my thing, this book here was the one that we used for most of our stuff primarily. So this is Electronics Fundamentals, Circuits, Devices and Applications by the OG legend Thomas Floyd. So Floyd is like an absolute titan of the electronics education industry. You know, he died years ago, but his textbooks kind of set the standards for a lot of things. A lot of places use them, so they cover a bunch of different industries and that. And often when you'll see like electronics guys talking about books or things or having like diagrams, that'll be based on the formatting and the layout of these. But you know, covering for this, you know, quantities and units, the basics, voltage, current, and resistance, Ohm's law, and then we get into like series circuits, parallel circuits, series parallel circuits, magnetism and electromagnetism. So like talking about like the right-hand rule and things like that, how it all works and how inductors work and coupling and stuff, AC and DC. So before even getting to anything, you know, introduction to AC and voltage, capacitors, RC circuits, yep, inductors, RL circuits, so resistor, inductor circuits, RLC circuits, and resonance, so you start getting into like how those work and finding out like resonant peaks and things like that. Diodes, transistors, so this is covering like the real in-depth minutia. Lots of good examples, lots of good like things that you can do in there to like learn the fundamentals and the basics.
A lot of text, not a lot of diagrams.
Nope. When you get more into it, there is like those like some of the basics, but like voltage, current, and resistance. There we go. Starting to talk about like electrons, how they work, and bits and pieces. You know, capacitors and charge, all that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
And then as you sort of like continue on, there we go. Resistors, how they're read, how pots work. This is like absolutely amazing. It's actually really, it's not overly technical, so you can read from this and learn yourself. And once you know the basics, then you're pretty well sorted because you can extrapolate information easily from there. Here we go, transistors and applications. So page 16, no, go back, you mofo. There you go. 703. This is how dense this book is as well.
Yeah.
Let's go all the way down there. Yeah, it's not cheap to buy one of these. You're looking at like $100 for the book, but if you find a second-hand one,
scheme of things.
Yeah, exactly. Here you go, semiconductors, diodes, and applications. So talking about diodes and bits and pieces. Once you understand how diode works, then you understand kind of how a transistor works. Keep going. All the, you know, here we go, like power supplies and filtering and how you've got like your ripple and all the rest of that, and how the value of the capacitor, and you work out your time constants, which is how you can work out like how stiff your power supply can be on an amp or something like that, and how less capacitance.
And a lot of this is reminiscent of not Art of Electronics, but Learning the Art of Electronics, which is its companion book.
Yep.
It's sort of like the self-directed course that you can teach yourself.
This kind of mixes both in.
Book. Yeah. That's a good one. I might pick that one up.
It is really good. Lots of formulas, all that kind of jazz. Covers like rectification and things like that. And then when you get into here we go, transistors and applications, this is where, as we were talking about before, with people trying to figure out how they work, this goes into it from every single like beginner element. So everything you've learned previously about power supplies, what current is, what voltage is, all the rest of that. And then here's an example, like your most standard, basic voltage divider type circuit for biasing. So you got your VCC, which is your voltage, you got your collector resistor, emitter resistor, and you got your two resistors there that set the bias point there. You're assuming your beta DC at 200 and all the rest of that. Here's how you can work out the base voltage is approximately that, and therefore this, and blah 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 blah, and you work out like how it all works. It's just, these fundamentals are what allow techs like us to decipher ancient tomes of knowledge, to figure out how weird old circuits and things that we may not necessarily understand, but learn how they work because we can read up on them. Or we can look at like a circuit and go, I recognize that block. I've seen that before. I know what that does. I can roughly test that and go, is that working? Is that passing through? Awesome.
So just in summary, because you've gone away from the screen, what was this? Do you have the ISBN on that?
There we go. Where is it? Where is it? Got the ISBN here. 8th edition Floyd.
I'll just put up a link. That's all. Unless you want to.
Well, here's the archive.org version of it. There we go.
Right.
There you go. There's the archive.org version. Then of course you can find versions of it out there for the learnings if you're wanting to do it that way. Where is it? Got it in here. There we go.
I prefer hard copy books. I can't read off. I can't learn off a screen. Yeah.
Yeah. There's the.
I think I need to be away from a computer to really absorb shit.
There's the ISBN there.
Excellent.
1-292-02568-9.
Well, come on, type it in.
Why can you type it in? I just read you out the numbers, you bastard.
Copy paste.
I can't, unfortunately.
These numbers be big these days.
Ah! Just decided I was going to run away.
ISBN.
Yep. 1-292.
Very exciting. 1-292.
025.
025.
689.
689. Very exciting video, this one.
Hells yeah.
Got it. All right. $152 on Amazon.
Yep.
50. Oh no, it's doing that thing where it sponsored products that aren't the fucking product that I googled. Anyway. Sweet. All right. Well, you got all you need there to grab yourself a copy, champions.
Yep.
It's not cheap, as Six said, but it's worthwhile.
And if you do want to just go the digital version, it is available on archive. You can usually find secondhand copies floating around in like uni bookshops or things like that. It is like one of those industry standard books that a lot of teaching courses will use. But the reason why I like it is so simple that even if you're not in a class, you can just read from it and learn. And it's got examples and everything laid out in a very specific way. If you go from page 1 to page 1000 and you just read it through and do the exercises as you go along, you will get to the end of that and go, I understand all of the core fundamentals of everything now, and I can understand from there and I can learn further. Makes such a difference.
Saying, a real copy is better for me. Just need a shock device when I try to fall asleep. I have fallen asleep with books on my face quite often. In the hammock out the back.
Nice. So I don't have a hammock or anything like that. I got my little I got my space where I've got my computer set up, and that's about it. But I need an actual proper like reading chair I can sit there and just like read like books in. But
yeah, well, I mean you're fucking old now, so you need a rocking chair. I reckon.
I need a wingback chair and a pipe.
Need a Jason recliner.
Oh god, those things. Yeah. If I was like, if I was earning more money, I'd be like, I'd go get me an Eames chair.
Eames, yeah. These days, I don't even know if you can get an Eames chair anymore. I think they're all fakes.
They're still being
made.
made.
Get the real deal.
Yep. You can get them
I thought it was sort of like,
customized.
because there's so many people ripping them off because they're a design bloody powerhouse. They were back in the day, anyway.
Yeah, no, they're still around.
I remember when I was in London,
Mm.
there was a book about design, and it had a chapter on Eames.
Mm.
Still got that book. I had a look at it yesterday.
There you go. Silence you. Yeah, there's actually
Sorry,
a
guys,
video.
We've gone off the original topic. We're just on Tangentville now, but that's what we do best.
Oh, we do. Here we go. Yeah, no. Still, you can still get like Eames chairs and all the rest of that. Still doing their thing.
Because they were like the pioneers of molded ply furniture, weren't they?
Yep.
They were the ones that, I don't know if they patented the process, but they were one of the first to make all the molded ply parts.
Yep. Here we go. This is actually like covering it there, and how they're still made, and all the rest of that. The factory covers like the molding and the design and history. Yep. Yeah. Frasier's like it's interesting. Like you actually see how they do the bending and all the rest of that, and how they'll do them in like different wood veneers now as well.
I've made stuff like that before. We made molds on the CNC because you build up a skeletal structure out of just offcut shit, cover sheets and stuff, and then you put form ply over it, and then you laminate the form ply, and then you basically lay the layers on with glue in between, and then you press it all up. There's no heat involved. There's no steaming. It's just individual layers with glue in between them, and you're forming them into shape. And obviously everything's got to overhang, so the outer shape has to, maybe sometimes it's a different jig to the one that you've actually used to form it up, but you've actually got to machine the outside of the jig to basically the 3D shape of the item.
Yeah.
So then you run a trimmer over it. You intentionally overlay it by 10 mil or so, and then you run a trimmer around it, and now you've got a nice square parallel or perpendicular surface that you can put edge tape or just polish up. And it's a cool process. It's very satisfying, but you've got to get it clamped like fuck, because any gaps in between will make the edge look like shit. So.
And that's where like the companies that do like a bunch of things like the Eames chair, or like Gibson with like the 335 and the 175, they got big ginormous hydraulic presses that they're heated, they push them together.
Ideally, that's what you want. The heating's usually just to help the glue go off quicker. It doesn't actually shape it's not like you're getting a flat sheet of ply and then you're shaping it like that. That just doesn't work that way. You just split it. So yeah, it's individual thin layers. If they had a real sharp turn on it or a difficult grain, they probably would soak the timber and maybe use some steam to help pre-shape it. But essentially, when you're gluing it, the heat is, or they even use RF presses for veneer. So similar to the old Heiko FX100 over here, they use induction and RF glues essentially that sort of cook like with a microwave.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Yeah, and that's all just to keep the production flowing.
That's some space age jets and shit right there.
Yeah, the guy I used to buy veneer off. Well, we'd go select the veneer, send it to him, and he'd press them up. He wasn't the actual veneer manufacturer, but he was the presser. He also had a limousine company, oddly enough, and he was based out at Kermond, out near Richmond.
As you do.
And you'd order a pack of veneer. It would arrive as the individual leaves, all stacked up in between two pieces of MDF and strapped. And that was the actual log that the client selected. And then they'd send it off for slicing. They'd slice it and then send the leaves off to the veneer press. He would stitch them together and then lay them up in his RF press, microwave essentially. And you get the pack aboard the next day or 2 days later, and the sheets in the middle were still warm. By the time you get down 2 or 3 sheets deep into the pack, you'd feel the sheets and they were warm from the pressing process. Because you're talking like 20 sheets a pack, so like probably 600-700 high stack of boards, and that heat is just trapped in the middle. It can't get out, and because they've stacked them all on top of each other. And it's pretty cool.
Ain't good in the winter.
Yeah, it's great. Running on the panel saw, those things just suck the heat out of your hands. The fucking solid block of aluminium in a -5 degree day. Not fun.
No thanks.
They're like Kenny trade. You get moving. The first hour sucks, but you get moving and you start sweating even on a cold day. So
I used to hate when I was on the building site and I'd like the cold, miserable, rainy days. Like even if you're inside and you still gotta like go outside and grab stuff and come in, it's just like, oh, it's just awful.
These days they just call a rain day and all go to the pub.
Yeah, no wonder we don't have any bloody houses or anything anymore. Can't build anything.
Right. One of my mates was a landscaper, and like 2 drops of rain, they go rain day, and he would go to the pub, and he'd be there at 2 p.m. and he'd be drinking. By the time I knocked off at like 6, 7 o'clock, I'd drop in there, and he was fucking blind by then. About 12 schooners in by the time I get to the pub after knock off.
Absolute bloody pisshead.
Every time it was raining, I'd go, he's going to be at the pub.
Man, why can't we have a job like that nowadays? You know, it rains outside and we just go, fuck, now we've got to deal with like, you know, guitars that are like twisting and moving.
Yeah. I actually love the rainy days because it feels cozy in the workshop.
Yeah, I don't like it because it gets bloody humid as balls in here.
Yeah.
My workshop, not ideal for any of that.
Well, that's the other reason I'd never be able to work in far north Queensland. You have to have the aircon running 24/7. Everything would just go mouldy.
Oh, God. Oh, no thanks.
Joe, get into your mid-60s. There's nothing but shock devices to keep you awake when reading a book. Yeah, that's like what Trump has, eh? That blonde bird that follows him around with a shock device when he passes out of the meeting.
The one that changes his diaper.
He's got the nerve to call him Sleepy Joe. Fuck me. He's fallen asleep like 12 times on camera in the last 3 days.
Yeah, and look, hey, the wonderful state of the world is getting even worse, and now, you know, good old Canada's just like, you know what, fuck it, we're out.
Fuck off. Yeah, so I was gonna get onto that. Yeah, Canada tariffs. So basically they've I don't reckon there ever was any fucking trade talks, to be honest. I reckon they were probably just sent in a bunch of clowns like they usually do, and the Canadians are probably like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Like, you're not qualified to even talk about what you're talking about. And whatever happened, they've decided on reciprocal tariffs of 50%. So all of a sudden, Canada's open to me again as a market because it's more cost effective to ship stuff from Australia because we've got a free trade agreement that we actually honour with our Commonwealth cousins up in Canada. And you don't pay any tariffs. Over a certain value, you might pay import tax, but it's like, I think it's for the prices we're talking about, you don't get anything above up to like $1,000 or $1,500. I think it is. You could look it up. But yeah, all of a sudden might be shipping stuff to Canada again because the competitors from the US are going to be no competition now. It'll be cheaper to ship it from here.
Well, we're currently playing Canadian whack-a-mole with everything.
Yeah, everything's a moving target. I don't know about how you feel, but the last 20 years, everything felt like we were on solid ground. Like you could plan.
Yep.
And the last year in particular, it's been, you just can't plan anything. You can't. You can't start a project. You don't want to invest time into anything because the market that you're aiming at could close off tomorrow. It's just.
The last 10 years have been just insane because we went from having like this pretty well established world order. Yeah, things weren't great. People were getting screwed left, right and centre. But you could at least go, you know what? Products and things, they'll still be trade. It can still get stuff from around the world. We could still send stuff to them. You know, things were kind of okay. People had money and it was moving around. And then shit started getting worse and we started entering the world where like online, digitally, everything went to shit. Rent started going up. Rent-seeking behavior became the new du jour of everything. You had people
it's literally the only way people are making money now. It's just rent-seeking, OnlyFans, insider trading.
Yep,
like,
software as a service,
fall apart.
AI bullshit. But now, like in the last 12 months, we went from being able to like ship wherever to not being able to sell to the US. Now we can't sell to the EU. because of the stupid fucking PPWR packaging bullshit. And now we can't ship to the US again. So it's like, awesome. All of those markets are closed off. Japan has no money because they've completely tanked their economy and destroyed it something
UK has no money. Same thing with the UK.
Yep. No money there. We've got no money, so we can't sell to anyone locally.
When are people going to understand that... oh, God. Words escape. You're going to have to help me again, Six. You're my human thesaurus. Come on, mate. Starts with an A, where you don't want to spend money. Fucking...
austerity.
Austerity. When are they going to learn that austerity doesn't work? The only thing that works is taxing billionaires into non-existence. It's literally the only way out now. I don't give a fuck if you like it or not. It's the only way out.
Look, the velocity of money is a real thing. When all the money is locked up in, imaginary assets and just being handed through by a couple of like very expensive, purchases by very rich people. Us people down here, down at the bottom, we don't have money to go spend locally, so it doesn't. And then things stagnate and the world gets worse.
Every economist that doesn't have Trump's cock in their mouth agrees. That's the only way out of this fucking shit. And the US debt crisis is about to... Fuck knows what happens if they default on their debt. My God. That's like, behind climate change, that's the biggest problem.
I don't think so much going to be
climate change, debt crisis.
It's not going to be so much that they'll default on the debt. More so with the US, what's happening now is that the cost of servicing the debt is so through the roof. And they're trying to sell bonds, but nobody wants them because they're basically junk now, so they can't raise the funds. And the last thing that they want is for example, Japan to go out there and dump all of their bonds they can. That's why they had the currency intervention, which the absolute bullshit part. For a week. Yeah, it worked for a week, but the thing is, they didn't even use USD for it. They used euros. Oh, so they went through, and they absolutely screwed the euro. God. And that, so because they didn't want to hit to their own currency, so they dropped 10 billion in euros.
I only got bits and pieces of it because I was trying to enjoy my holiday, but fucking hell. And
it is bad.
What's his name? Besant, that fucking lunatic.
Oh, God.
Snivelling little pissant. Mm-hmm. He's just saying shit that 101 in economics. I'm pretty fucking dumb, but I know that that's fucking bullshit. It's just insane, man. So whatever happens, we're along for the ride. It's a roller coaster. We don't have any control over it. The people on the levers gonna have our fate in their hands, and it's gotten to the point now where it's been let to get so bad that we just are along for the ride and don't have any control over it now. So
yep. There we go.
So yeah, things are gonna go bad in the next. I think we're gonna see a global economic crash.
We already are. It's already gone bad. It's just
it's gonna be it's gonna be combined with El Nino, US debt crisis, AI bubble, climate change in general, as well as El Nino, but El Nino in particular, financialization of everything. It's just all of this shit's building up. In the past, I know every generation thinks it's the end of the world, but they usually had one big factor, like a war or something. Oh, the Iran war, the oil crisis. I didn't even mention that. Fuck.
Yeah.
But it felt like back in the day there was one big issue causing a whole bunch of underlying factors. But now we've got 8 big issues, and they're all just going out of control.
We've never been in a situation where the entire world economic order has been turned up on its head by a bunch of petulant, pants-shitting losers. It makes no sense. They have destroyed, 250 years worth of international, kind of economic agreement of how things work and how stuff links together, and none of that matters anymore. None of it.
I'm not even getting pushback when I talk about this shit anymore. There's not even... Normally, if you went back even a year or two, we'd be getting comments right now in the chat pushing back on this, spouting Fox News, Sky News talking points.
I mean, mostly on your channel. I never really got that because those kinds of people don't come to my videos.
Yeah. I think they've taken a hint now that I'll just block and ban them. But But yeah, I'm so sick of the orange man shit, the pants shitting. But no one gives a fuck. He is a fleshlight for fucking capital. Capital is the problem.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who's in charge. It probably would have ended up happening in a similar way. We need to dramatically rethink the world order, and there's no way out other than taxing billionaires into non-existence. It's the only way to do it. But they are at the point now where they will fucking start a war if you try and do that shit.
Yep.
There's a reason they're putting flock cameras fucking everywhere. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
They want to clamp down on any fucking dissent before it happens. I just don't know what their long-term strategy is. It's just there is none. There's no fucking logic to any of it. It's just
when you get to that level of wealth, you are not mentally well anymore. You cannot be.
It seems impossible, doesn't it?
The thing that I love is they went out there and they did the intervention for the yen and all the rest of that, and it's like, awesome, hey, there we go, going all the way back to a year ago, and it's rising and rising and rising versus the Aussie dollar. It's bad. Oh no, we're getting too close, we need to intervene, and boop, there we go, April, the first drop down to 109, okay, and then it kind of went up and up and up and up and up. It's still plodding along, and we need to intervene again. Boom, drops down, and now it's going up again at a faster rate because it's like doing heroin.
Trying to fucking yeah.
Every time you need a bigger hit.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. I don't know, man. So yeah, sometimes I think that's a big reason why I've struggled to make videos these days, because the stupid little fucking things I work on are so insignificant compared to what's happening. And
but that's why people want to see. They want distraction. They want something that's not looking out the window and seeing the world on fire.
I guess so, but I get the feeling there's a lot of people that watch my channel that are oblivious to it too. And
it's all right. Let them be oblivious.
Yeah, fair enough. I just want people to prepare, Get fit, get healthy, get rid of your addictions while you can, fucking sell what you can, get some liquidity happening, fucking get a go bag. Like, we're coming into fire season. It's going to be the worst El Nino ever in Australia. We've had nothing but rain for the last 6 years. I'm pretty convinced my fucking house is going to burn this year, because we back onto bush that hasn't burned since the 70s. And we came so close in 2013. We came close again in 2019. I think our luck's going to run out this year. So,
have you got your house insurance sorted? Your contents insurance.
Yeah, we've got contents insurance. Yeah, but I just want to thin the herd. Just so we're not tripping over shit to figure out what we want to take. And I don't think. I mean, we're going to see similar shit to what happened in the Palisades this year, because the fire used to stop when it hits an urban area, but we've got a fair bit of greenery and stuff in our area. I think it's just going to roll through the fucking houses, man.
Yeah.
So, hate to be negative and all that, but you got to be prepared. And if you're not, and you're standing there with your dick in your hand when the fire front's coming towards you, you're going to lose everything. So, things that you don't think about, like birth, wedding certificates, that kind of stuff, the things that will make proving your identity easier, they're probably the biggest things you want to take with you. Everything else can be replaced. Transfer all your photos to online. Cloud.
Just not into the cloud.
Yeah. Well, what are they going to do? Rip off photos of your grandma?
No, didn't you hear what happened to PBS?
What's that?
oh boy. Yeah. So
is this recent?
Yeah. Where is it? PBS. So, PBS had a PBS station had 50 terabytes of data being hosted in a cloud storage provider that went bust, and they can't access the hardware or the services.
Is that a fucking typo? Being ghosted by cloud?
Nope. So pretty much the cloud storage provider didn't own the hardware and all the rest of that. They were leasing them out from a data center, one of those kinds of things. The cloud storage provider went bust, stopped responding to PBS, couldn't get access. The company went goodbye, and the data center's like, well, no, we're not going to give you access to it, and that. So, like, 60 years of archived stuff is now potentially going to disappear.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fucking hell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Yeah, look, the cloud's just someone else's computer. I consider the cloud being one storage location, and if your data only exists in one place, it doesn't exist. So, RAID arrays is what I store all my video backlog on.
Yep.
I've got a RAID array. I forget which one, the security one. RAID 0, is it?
RAID 0 is mirroring. RAID 1 is Stripe.
No, yeah, RAID 0 for redundancy. Yeah. And that's what I store. I've got two 10 terabyte drives. I store all my video catalogs on that. So if YouTube ever just deletes my channel for fucking whatever reason, because there's no one you can call at YouTube, so they could just do that tomorrow. There's no, I can re-upload the entire channel if I wanted to. You'd get to relive back before I had a beard, champions. I'll drip feed you one video a day. It could be fun, actually. YouTube, delete my channel. Yeah, it'd be like a blast from the past. But yeah, I've got everything backed up there. I've backed up the entire Facebook and Instagram. Well, basically the whole, all the photo albums and whatever. So that's on hard copy. And yeah, that's sort of how I do it. But yeah, grabbing that fucking hard drive on the way out, definitely be something in the in the go bag. Yeah, but I've fortunately I've got the shop, so if we needed to store shit somewhere, I can just shut the shop and just load it up with shit. Wouldn't have to worry about finishing the Aprilia then, at least, I guess.
See, because I've been like homeless and had to move so many times over the years, I'm already very light on everything. I don't really own much anymore because either it's gotten lost over the years, or like there was a fire a couple of years ago at my mother's place that all of the family photos and everything all went up in flames. So there is very little evidence of me pre 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's I have sort of several periods in my life there's like no documentation of. Like my early 20s before everything was digital.
Yep.
Before like smartphones with cameras were like a thing, and I just didn't have a camera.
Yep.
So just nothing got documented, man. Every now and then I'll see myself in the background of someone else's photo at a gig or something. I'll be like, hey, there I am.
We were too busy living life. That's what we were doing.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, too busy making memories that we got too drunk to remember.
Yep.
But anyway.
Here we go. We got a question from Held Music. Are there any recommended any commercial cloud services you can recommend? Personally, I believe in always having like 3 points of backup. So you got your hot backup, your cold backup, and your cloud backup. So your hot one is whatever you've got on your computer or whatever else like that, like a local hard drive or similar type things. Cold backup is where you just like take a manual thing and you just like store it on like a removable drive or something like that. You can keep them pretty slim, keep the important stuff there, and then like a cloud backup. For my cloud backup, I use iCloud just because the missus works for Apple, and Apple, one good thing about them is they are very, very on top of like the security stuff, and their services actually kind of working. So I'm not too worried about them just suddenly blinking out of existence. I wouldn't necessarily trust, say, for example, Google, because they have been going through people's files on there. There's been some like weird instances of like artists making some, let's just say, very suggestive art, suddenly getting a knock at the door, even though like what they did wasn't illegal, but Google did it, or they deleted their accounts.
Was it Snapchat? They've been automatically scanning people's private messaging.
Yeah, they've been doing that for years.
There was a woman who was a teacher, and she was like, obviously fucking joking, but AI doesn't understand tone of voice or irony.
Yep.
She goes, I'm gonna fucking kill these students if they don't behave.
Yep.
And then the fucking FBI turned up at her front door, and she got fucking fired.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? And that was a private message, and no one on the message chain reported it. It was automatically reported by the internal reporting system. That's fucked.
Remember, your communications are never private. Always assume that they are
never.
being watched by someone. Even end-to-end encrypted stuff. I mean, like, WhatsApp, that's being scanned all the time. Everyone knows what's going on there. Telegram, less so, but, all it takes is someone to get either end of it, and bam, they got like control of the whole thing.
Literally, the only privacy is face-to-face with no devices present.
Mm-hmm.
Or within earshot.
Pretend you're in Eastern Germany, East Berlin, in 1976. There's always someone watching.
I mean, if they want to watch me jack off, that's fine. Like,
I mean, if you're going to do that, at least charge money for it.
yeah. Just start OnlyFans, yeah.
Well, the funny thing is that OnlyFans are trying to push back into like less explicit content. They're setting up. They've got like Twitch stream type stuff and all the rest of that. But they're like pushing like comedians and all sorts of other things that aren't just like porn stars. So
I mean, that was the premise of when it started, wasn't it? And then obviously, if human nature create a new technology, what do we do with it? We either fuck it or we kill people with it.
Yes, exactly. It comes down to the basic primal human needs. Fuck it or kill it.
Exactly, yeah. That was like when they first made 3D printers, the two most popular, because there was a website where you could download 3D models to print.
Yep.
The two most popular was a gun and a dildo.
Yeah, Thingiverse.
Thingiverse, that's it, yeah.
I need to get myself
Tells you a lot about humankind.
Need to get myself a 3D printer at some point.
Oh, fuck, everyone's got one. Just it's like when you're a kid and you wanted a pool and your parents go, just become mates with that weirdo that has a pool down the road. You just become mates with the weirdo with a 3D printer and they print anything for you.
Yeah, but I want to be able to do it like randomly.
Yeah. It's a bit like buying a CNC. Are you going to use it for production or prototyping? And are you going to use it enough to justify owning your own one? The answer to that question is almost always no.
Hey, see, 3D printer probably, yeah, I would.
If you just want to fuck around with them and have fun, go for it.
See, they're good. They're good for certain things, though. When something isn't available, or it's easier than trying to fabricate something by hand. Especially like some of the newer things you can do with them, and like some of the new filaments and things. Like you get your carbon fiber type ones, but you've also got like the soft, flexible, squishy type ones too, and all kinds of.
What
things.
about that stuff? The stuff we saw at Electronext, the bronze sintering, or not? It wasn't even bronze. It was. Yeah. It was some kind of metal.
Is it up here that I've still got the dude's things?
Oh, did he give you a thingy?
Yeah. This company.
Yeah. Oh, the bottle opener. Sweet.
Yep.
Can't read it. ENI, was it?
ENI, yep.
And they were New Zealand. They were funny as.
Yeah. They were cool.
It's not often you get the nerds like that have a sense of humour and joke around. It was pretty cool. That's New Zealanders for you, larrikins.
Exactly. They're like Aussies. It's just they get outnumbered by the sheep.
Yeah. No worries. Well, any other topics to cover today?
I'd say that's probably about it, because I need to go sort out some bits and pieces and stuff. Go get my parts.
Oh, I got to ship some stuff too. I forgot about that.
And then I need to go enjoy a half a day off because of my birthday. And I usually don't work on my birthday at all because,
Yeah. What are you doing tonight? Anything going out?
I don't know. Might go out. Might grab some dinner with the missus. About it. Went to my brother's yesterday and got surprised by the family. I had family come over from New Zealand and everything as well. So that was nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It was good because my mother was supposed to have organised a 40th birthday for me, but it's kind of hard to do that when you're like a pile of ashes on my shelf.
Yeah, it could be difficult unless you've got some kind of supernatural presence.
Exactly. Yeah, I've got this shelf at home now, which is like my main collectible shelf because I'm just collecting like dead family members and others there. So I got my grandmother, my mother, my grandfather, and now my dog on there. So I got to see how many I can
damn.
get on there. Yeah, I got a few.
Just stay off that shelf, brother.
I just make sure the
Stayed off
cats
it
stay
for 40
away from
years.
it. I'll try,
Stayed off
but
40
you know.
years. What's another 40? We'll have to catch up in IRL soon too. Go for another beer.
Yeah, actually, the gift that the missus got me this morning, we should totally go use together. Because she bought me a an Insta 360 cam.
Man.
Yeah, because I said I wanted like a 360 cam, so I could just wander around and just like interesting kind of areas and like throw them up on YouTube or whatever.
Did YouTube used to have? Remember they brought in the 3D functionality where you could like
360. You still
move the
can.
camera view. You still can. Okay,
Yeah.
right. Because I thought they got rid of it, or maybe they got rid of the multicam. They got rid of one of the functions.
I think
forget which.
multicam, maybe. I don't know. I'm pretty sure 360 you
'Cause,
still can.
Because Lewis Rossman used to, when he was back in New York, he'd ride his push bike to work, or his e-bike, whatever, the Bafang, and he'd have that poking out of his helmet, and you could scroll around, you could look sideways, see all the side streets. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to go
You've got to
wander.
remember not to pick your nose while you're holding the camera.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to go wandering around like the city and like out through the bush and various areas, just carrying the camera, just for the fun of it, and like do some.
You know what we should do? We should do some bushwalks up the mountain. There's a couple of catwalk walkways that hang over the cliffs and that.
Yep.
And they've got some that they light up at night around the Three Sisters and stuff.
Yeah.
So that would be a good one. And dusk, as they turn the lights on, that'd be a mad vibe. I don't know how they're going low light that way, being a tiny sensor.
Well, it's Insta 360. They're pretty fucking good at what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like these Chinese companies have just knocked it out of the park with a lot of these design things for like small sensor things. Their processing is good. The sensor technology is quite good. The low light performance is pretty damn on point.
Yeah, nice.
It's kind of wild. But yes, thank you for the birthday wishes, guys, and all that kind of jazz. And Joe, yes, indeed, I have an excellent woman who has put up with my shit for 13 years now. So one day we'll get around to sorting out the wedding.
Sometimes we wonder how they do it.
I have no idea. Hey, I've got
You're on an upswing now, buddy.
Yep. Piece by piece.
As the world declines, you're actually more cheery. Maybe you like watching the world decline.
I mean, look, I'd be lying if I didn't say that, like, kind of seeing other people experience the stresses I deal with all the time isn't a little cathartic, but...
Especially when they fucking
try not to be that much of an asshole, but... Okay. But it is one of those things where I've kind of reached that point in my life where it's like, everything is always on fire, everything sucks for the most part. I just got to keep going.
Get that 1,000-yard stare and...
Yeah, but look, I have been lucky as well the last little while with, finally there's enough work coming in and bills coming through and not as many, like, insane, like, big bills that I've had to deal with over the last while. And I've only got one grandparent left to die, so once that's done, that's all sorted.
It's one way of putting it.
Yep. Look, I've gotten all the death out of my system early, so I don't have to worry about that too much. The only thing we've got the mother-in-law with the dementia and the father-in-law with his health issues, but that's it. Yeah. So every Tuesday driving up to the Central Coast, it's a hell of a drive, but
yeah, it's up there.
Yep. Thankfully, my car runs off the sniff of an oily rag.
Man, that hybrid we had. When we took it back to the hire place, so when we first picked it up, its range was stated as 896 kilometres with a full tank. It got down to, we drove up to the fucking Daintree, we drove out to that bloody fig tree thing, we drove all over Cairns, we drove from Cairns up to Palm Cove and back again, we drove all around and explored, we saw crocodiles, and we returned it. We filled up just at the airport, half a tank, 20 litres. So 40-litre tank, and it still had 400 Ks left. So you're doing about 500 Ks on 20 litres. insane.
Jesus.
So, and it was fucking fun to drive, and it was fast as shit the whole time. So,
And yet there
I
are
wasn't,
still-
you know me, I didn't give it an easy time,
Yeah.
and fuck, it was still so efficient. Insane.
And yet there's still
But
idiots
you know
out
what?
there who are like, oh, but, you know, you need to just keep sticking with petrol cars. Fucking mate.
But you know what? Even a hybrid's not going to help us if there's no fuel at all. So, you know.
Look, I'm just
EVs.
praying and hoping to dear Lord that we don't run out of jet fuel by the time I go overseas in December. Right? That's all I need.
Well, I reckon that's probably when it's going to happen, knowing your luck.
And I will jump in the goddamn ocean. I'll start fucking swimming.
You'll start paddling.
I'll paddle. Like, ain't never getting in the way of me going on goddamn holiday.
Yep.
Bastards.
Well, fingers crossed, buddy.
Fingers, toes, everything. Cross them over,
Yeah.
make sure everything's all fucking sorted.
Fucking oath. All right, legends, we'll take it easy. Thanks for joining us again. A little bit of a
Yep.
rambly episode, as you often get when I'm involved. He was a lot more focused when I wasn't here, weren't you?
Yeah, it's all right. I still need to actually sort out the actual like in-depth in running things and all the rest of that. So it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It
We'll
comes
get to
around
it.
quick, though. It's like Sunday, and then we're like, oh, fuck, we've got to do that thing tomorrow.
It's all right. I'm gonna start.
Any,
working
any
on this
hints
week.
on any hints on next week's topic?
This time, not yet. I'm gonna keep it secret.
Ah, damn.
Yeah,
Can you tell me, please?
I'll tell you afterwards.
All right, thank you.
I'll fill you in. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll be less chaotic in future. I swear. Kinda, maybe.
I don't know about
I don't
that.
know. We'll see how we go. This is all just for fun anyway. So
Yeah.
no
worries, legends. I hope you had a good
bastards
time.
paying us.
Yeah, that's right. Enjoy your Sunday in the States. And, sorry, Chris, I missed your comment just before we go. Tell me what country you're in, bro. Lou Woods. You probably messaged me before, so I could probably check out chat history, but just help me out here, and I'll message you back. If you do need stuff shipped, Canadians, if you are at a loss because you've not able to buy from Tube Depot, places like that, try Tube Amp Doctor, try Evacco. Like, I know Valve's shipping them a long ways, probably a little bit risky, but they box stuff up so obsessive compulsively, double boxed. They'll get the valve boxes, the tube boxes. They'll wrap them in 2 layers of the big bubble wrap, put that in a cardboard box, wrap that in 2 layers of bubble wrap, and put that in a cardboard box, and that's how it turns up. It's probably about as safe as you're going to get. So Evacco might be a contender now that we've got all that bullshit in play. So look them up, and just as always, the e-commerce platform will give you a shipping quote. Same with my shop. If I am shipping to your area, into your country, and I think your postcode, or maybe even just your country, and it'll give you a shipping estimate. But if you want to be 100% sure, flick me an email. Same goes with Six. Same goes with all Aussie suppliers. We're happy to service our Canadian mates.
Yep. I actually shipped a couple of synth components off to a Canadian company the other week.
Yep.
Yeah, they helped me out
Cool.
with some keys that I needed, and I had some optos that they needed, so worked out
That's
well.
what it's all about, brother. Mad Max time. It's going to be horse trading time.
Yeah, but I don't look good in leather. Come on. No, not gonna happen. I'm
Maybe
more
not to you.
the Immortan Joe look.
Breathing apparatus.
Yep.
I got to watch that new one.
It's pretty damn good. The new
I've
and
only seen Fury
Furiosa,
Road.
they're both good.
Yeah, hang on, isn't it? I thought Furiosa was the new one. Have they got another one since that?
Fury Road was the one with Tom Hardy, and then Furiosa
Yeah,
was
Fury
like a
Road's the one I
prequel.
watched.
Yeah, Furiosa is a prequel
Yeah.
with Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, and that's the latest one, eh?
Yeah, that's still like
Yep.
5 or 6 years back or something.
Oh, really? I thought
Yeah.
it was only like 2 years or something. Okay.
It's
Time
been a
flies
couple
when you're having
years.
fun.
Yeah, I know, right? Time loses all meaning when you get to this age.
Yeah, tell me about it. All right,
Alrighty,
legends,
I'll
take it easy. Enjoy your Sunday or Monday, and don't work too hard. Bloody chat with your neighbours. Never leave yourself short of a beer. Drink lots of water. Moisturise your elbows. Nothing worse than a dry elbow.
Yeah. Yep.
And grow a beard, you pussies.
That includes everyone. Doesn't matter what gender you are. Grow a beard.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If your dad doesn't have a beard, then you got 2 mums.
Classic. Old school. Alrighty, y'all.
All right.
Peace out.
Goodbye. See ya.
Done.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's not too shabby.